on the 5s, Matt Bear.
All right, Kurt, southeast side, the crash northbound 465 at South Shadeland cleared. The one at Washington cleared. Now we have a new one, northbound 465, just before all that at I-74. Blocks 2 left lanes, stopping traffic to Arlington Avenue. Crashes on westbound 70 east side, 2 of them, in fact, both on the shoulder. It's westbound 70 between rural and the north. A split, no delay there. And the construction zone is slow. That's west side, northbound 465, stop and go 70 up to Washington Street. Crash north of downtown, 29th Street, that eastbound one lane before MLK. That is a crash with injury and confirmed entrapment. Traffic sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit tradeinfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and it's time to get ready for spooky season by eliminating all that spooky dirt, grime, and spills. Halloween brings out the best in people, but it also brings out some pretty scary crud from all the foot traffic. How about having Zero Res help to take care of all that with a great October special? Get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129 and $75 off air duct cleaning too. That's a $40 savings on carpet cleaning. And remember, your air ducts are where the really spooky stuff is. Yikes! The Zero Res service for your carpets, floors, and air ducts is easy to line up, and you can go online at ZeroResIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. I love these folks. And don't forget the ZR Water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. Now mention WIBC, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $129, plus you get $75 off air duct cleaning too. Call 317-388-5141 or book things online at ZeroResIndy.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving Central Indiana.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For today, sunny skies, quiet or high temperatures checking in around 70 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, low temperatures in the low to mid 40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
52 and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC, it is the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today, and oh my goodness, look who it is. You know him, you love him. Indy Spanglish on Twitter, the great Jerry Lopez. Hello.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, obviously, over the weekend, the big story dominating much of the political landscape was Donald Trump's return to Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, terrifying yet exciting.
Yeah, and we've got so much audio we're going to play throughout the day. But, as we like to say on this show, Lopez, we got a guy. In this case, we got a girl. In this case, it's half her show. Our own Casey Daniels, who's off today, was in Butler, Pennsylvania. And she joins us now on the WIBC hotline from her vacation. How about dedication to that? Casey, you were there. That place looked like it was on fire on Saturday.
I was not only there, I was at the rally of the entire season. Rob, I have to tell you, it was absolutely incredible. And you got to wait for this whole story because what happened when the dude and I were at the rally was absolutely amazing. So we get there, and we have no idea what to expect, Rob. Keep in mind, this is the first rally.
Wait. Time out. No. I gave you a whole play-by-play of how it's going to go. I told you got to get there like 9 hours early. I told you it's going to take you forever to get through security. I told you you're going to have to sprint and stab people next to you to get a seat near a chair. I told you all of this.
Okay, so they said you can start arriving at 7 a.m. and the doors will open at 10 a.m. Now, keep in mind, Donald Trump is not scheduled to speak until 5 p.m.
Oh, yeah,
so that's a long day. Well, we ended up getting there around 11:30 and had no problem parking. Everything was completely organized, tons of volunteers. So we eased right in with the parking, which we did not pay for. And
free
we got in
parking.
line.
Free parking?
Free parking.
I love it, yes.
So we got in line to go through security, and it took us about an hour and 10 minutes to snake through all of that line. And everybody in line was in a good mood. Nobody was grumbling. Of course, lots of people were selling merch along the way. And once we finally got through security, which was being run by Secret Service, you had to go through metal detectors, we got into the actual venue. And they had a lot of trucks kind of lined up around the perimeter. So you could definitely distinguish between inside and outside of the event. Now, let me talk to you about security for just a second.
Okay, real quick, I want to let everybody know that Casey is joining us today via the telephone. She's on vacation. Indy Spanglish or Lopez is in for Casey, but we had to lead the show with her because she was at that amazing Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania over the weekend. Casey, go ahead.
Yeah, so security, there was Secret Service there. There was Homeland Security. We saw local law enforcement. We saw snipers. We saw SWAT teams. We saw mounted police, and we saw dogs. So it was very secure. We get into the venue, and we're kind of milling around, and it's a very large crowd at this point. And that's when I stopped, and I took some pictures that you might have seen on the WIBC social media accounts. And then at one point, we said, well, let's see if we can get closer to the stage. And there was a long line of food trucks that were selling different items. And we kind of wandered around to the side, and no, that wasn't a very good view. And the land actually kind of dips down to where the stage is. So that actually made our view worse.
Now, Casey, real quick, there was some question about this. This was the same place he was at the last time?
Exact same place, and they tried to make the stage look exactly the same.
Oh, wow.
The only real difference they did to the stage was they put the stairs, rather than on the side, the stairs went down the back.
Okay.
So we tried to swing around to find another place where we could see the stage, and we got a little glimpse of it. We were pretty far away, and we thought, okay, you know what? Well, we've got a couple hours to kill because at this point, it's probably 2 o'clock. Keep in mind, nothing is really starting until 4:30. And I say to Jim, hey, I'm going to go use the restroom. They had a lot of porta potties. However, I went into a building restroom.
Of course you did. Yeah, you're not using no porta potty.
Of course I did.
Casey Daniel.
As I exit the bathroom, I see Jim standing there, and a guy in a light blue Oxford shirt walks over to him and says, hey, do you want access? And Jim says, well, of course I want access, having no idea what he means.
Yeah, people used to say that to me at the clubs in Broad Ripple all the time, Casey. Hey, do you want access?
Yes, I do. And so the guy hands him a wristband, and Jim looks at me, and he says, follow me. And Jim says to the man, not without her, not without her. And he's pointing to me. And the guy looks over at me, gives me the once over, checks me out up and down.
I bet.
And says, oh, yeah. Hands me a wristband and says, follow me.
Who was this guy? Do we know?
We have no idea at this point. We go behind a gate, and he says, okay, stand there next to this wall. And we're like, okay. Now, we can tell we're in a restricted area just from the guards that are standing in front of it. And then another couple, they follow us. They had wristbands too. Woman is from Pennsylvania. The man says, oh, my gosh, I feel so lucky. I feel like I should play the lottery today. Keep in mind, Jim and I have no idea what we're doing because this is the first rally we have ever been to.
I love Casey. Casey is joining us by phone today. She's off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but she's talking about she was at the Trump rally in Butler. I love that you guys just randomly started following a stranger and were like, sure, take me wherever you'd like to take me.
Why are we going to the top of the water tower?
Yeah, well, he looks like he was official, and he was passing out wristbands. So I figured he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So he says, okay, let's go, follow me. And as we're walking, I said, where are we going? And he says, to the bleachers. And I was like, oh, my gosh. Now, there were 3 sets of bleachers, right? One to the right of the stage, one to the left of the stage, and one behind the stage. And I said, okay, well, which bleachers are we going to? And he says, oh, you're going behind the podium.
Yeah.
And I said, what?
Wow.
And he goes, yeah, right behind the podium. And I said, so we're going to be able to be close and see Donald Trump? And he said, oh, you're going to see country artists. You're going to see Donald Trump. You're going to see it all.
Okay, wait, time out, Casey. Who is this guy, and why did he let you do this?
He is from Team Trump. And what they were doing was just grabbing random people that were out in the audience and giving them premier seats. And that's where Jim and I ended up. You would not believe this. We were, if you watch the press, the rally, you'll see the camera shot of Donald Trump center right beneath that big American flag that was hanging. We were about 6 people away from being in the center camera shot most of the time.
Yeah.
We were 8 rows up. It was incredible. I was 20 feet away the entire time.
Okay, Casey is with us today via phone. She's off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. She's graciously spending a few minutes talking about attending the Trump rally in Butler. So you're right near the stage. Tell us about the event, Casey. You got a lot of incredible video. Casey Daniels 317 on Twitter. You've got the Casey Daniels Instagram account. You have a TikTok account, too. All the places you can see these things. Tell us about the actual event itself. You got to see Elon Musk. We'll have audio all throughout the day today. But, man, what an event to be so close at.
Yeah, it was incredible. So the event, well, there were lots of prayers. There were beautiful, wonderful tributes to Corey Campitori. He was the firefighter who lost his life at the July 13th pep rally, and they paid honor to him throughout the entire pep rally. His wife, his children were there. They were sitting in the front row on the opposite side of the podium, and I have to tell you, they were surrounded by Secret Service and security, and there were parachuters. Air Trump 1 did 2 flybys. There was the speed painting of Corey Campitori, which was just beautiful. You had opera singers. You had country artists. You had Laura and Eric Trump talking about election integrity. You had J.D. Vance there talking about how Donald Trump is a leader and they try to silence him. They tried to bankrupt him, and it just wasn't going to stop him. And then, of course, I don't know what you did on Saturday, Rob.
Yeah.
But I watched Lee Greenwood serenade Donald Trump, and the entire crowd was singing along, God bless the USA. Chants of USA, USA kept breaking out, and fight, fight, fight. And then, of course.
So wait, real quick, Casey, before you tell us the main event here. Casey sends me this video of Lee Greenwood with Trump, and I just asked Casey. I said, "Does Lee Greenwood just like follow Trump around now? Is that his job?"
I think so. I think he probably turns to Lee Greenwood and says, "You know what? I'm going to need you in Pennsylvania." What's Lee going to say? Of course he's going to go.
This was fascinating, and I know you want to tell us about the main stuff here, but this is fascinating, Casey, because. Everybody was there. This was the main event of rallies. Obviously, the significance was that's where he was shot at. But the idea that you had the kids, you had J.D. Vance, you had Lee Greenwood. Obviously, we're going to get to Elon here in a second. I mean, you had all of these people at the event that you were at. Yes, I know. I can't believe it because, okay, let me get to Elon first. Wait. Can you hang on for just a second? We got to take a break. I did not intend this to go this long, but we got to hear about Elon Musk. We got to hear about Trump. Can you hang on for just a second? You got it. Okay, Casey Daniels is with us. She's on vacation, but she was at that Trump rally. She was right next to the stage in Butler over the weekend. I had not intended to go this long, but I'm enthralled by all of this. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Spanglish is in for Casey. It's Kendall Casey Show.
Tony Katz.
You're not married, right?
No.
After a certain time being married, you realize that sleeping in separate beds, a genius idea.
Well, that's just not very romantic at all.
Oh, we're not talking about romance. We're talking about rest. And if you want something that's not romantic, be in a relationship where nobody's getting any rest. By the way, my wife and I do not have separate beds. She can't get enough of me.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Jennifer McCormick backed Hillary Clinton for president. And when McCormick was in charge of education in Indiana, our schools ranked at the bottom. She even opposed school choice. Then McCormick backed Joe Biden for president and supported his trillion-dollar spending scheme that caused all the inflation. Now she runs for governor on a plan that would increase your energy bills, create a new office of environmental justice, and ban gas stoves. Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal.
This is Mike Braun. Here's my plan for Indiana. I'll enforce immigration laws even when the federal government fails to act, keeping our streets safe and secure. And my plan lowers more costs. I'll cut property taxes, reduce energy bills, and expand parental choice and school voucher programs. Indiana needs strong leadership. we can get it done.
Mike Braun, Governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here to elevate your protection game. Using the same simple password across all your accounts, that's risky. While updating your passwords to be more unique is a good start, true peace of mind comes with LifeLock. LifeLock doesn't just alert you to suspicious activity, but monitors for more uses of your personal info and will fix identity theft issues that arise, guaranteed, or your money back. Secure your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Don't you deserve healthcare you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for Indianapolis, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
Is your pet a digging enthusiast, an escape artist, or a counter surfer? Invisible Fence brand has you covered. For the wannabe landscaper, we've got a solution to keep them active but not destructive. For the escape artist, our personalized pet fences keep them safe and sound at home. Counter surfer? No problem. We know how to keep cheese thieves at bay. Invisible Fence brand. Tailor-made solutions for your pet, your yard, and your needs. Visit invisiblefence.com today.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Chris Whittakin here. Go to AbsoluteComfort.org for a free second opinion so we can keep you absolutely comfortable every day, all day.
Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish, in for Casey today. But Casey is joining us on the WIBC hotline. She was in Butler, Pennsylvania over the weekend. She was at that Trump rally, that incredible Trump rally that really dominated the political discussion over the weekend. She was right near the stage. All right, Casey, so last segment, you kind of set the buildup of how you got these wristbands. You got right near the stage. You see J.D. Vance. You see the kids come out and speak. You see Lee Greenwood sing to Donald Trump. And then Elon Musk takes the stage.
And then it's kind of like you could just feel it. Everybody was just waiting. It's not that you wanted Donald Trump to finish, but you were just waiting for Elon to come on. But I did want to point out one thing, actually a couple of things. When Donald Trump was talking, when he took the stage and he said, as I was saying, and he put up the chart from the immigration from the July 13th rally that he was at. It was hilarious. The crowd loved it.
So Trump was out there first. So Trump comes out before Elon and starts doing his thing, right?
Yep. He did his thing, and he was supposed to start talking at 5, and Donald Trump really didn't come out until 5:20. And I think it was because he was trying to back time his speech exactly to 6:11, and that's when the shots rang out at the last rally. And he asked for a moment of silence at exactly 6:11. And you have never experienced anything until you have that many people all quiet at the exact same time. I mean, it gives me chills when I think about it. And then they had the bells tolling and Ave Maria just blasting through the speakers, and everybody was quiet. There was so much respect that was being paid to Corey Campitori and his family who were there. So Donald Trump goes through and he does his thing.
How was it? How was it? Were you entertained? I told you, I said, I think you're going to get about 30 minutes of being like you're at a Rolling Stones concert, and then you're going to get bored. How was it?
It was really good. Well, I mean, keep in mind, I had the perspective that Donald Trump had because I was sitting directly behind him. I could see the view that he has when he's giving his speeches. You know, when you're in the crowd, you're looking at the stage. And because I was behind it, I was able to see all of those people. And you can tell the energy that he picks up from the crowd and how he shifts his body. And he would turn around and look at the people that were sitting in the bleachers behind him. And he really draws off of that crowd. And it's a lot of showmanship and star power. You were just feeling the vibes from him, and so was the crowd. So the people that are directly behind him that are in the center camera shot, they're instructed from Team Trump. It's incredible. Team Trump was walking around handing out free water to everybody. They didn't want to have any medical issues, and they passed out signs, and everybody directly behind him had the fight, fight, fight sign.
Yeah.
And then everybody on the wings, I had a red Trump and Vance sign. Jim had a blue Trump and Vance sign. And the people that were directly behind Donald Trump were instructed, don't be on your phone. We want you to have your sign up. And they want to make sure that they're like dressed differently but appropriately. One woman who was wearing a Kennedy T-shirt, somebody had given her a wristband, and the guys that walked us back, they wouldn't let her go back. They said, no, this is a Donald Trump event. I'm sorry. We understand that Kennedy is now supporting Donald Trump, but this is a Trump event put on by Donald Trump, paid for by Donald Trump.
Oh, wow.
So they wouldn't let her go back. So they are very selective. They make sure that they have men and women and just, you know, a wide variety of people representing. But those people that are behind them, they're there to work. They're there to get up the crowd hyped up.
All right, before you tell us about the main event, Casey's joining us by phone today. She's out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but she was at that huge Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. I mean, I think you might, if he wins Pennsylvania and wins the presidency, you might say that's the thing that did it for him. She was right near the stage. Go ahead, Casey.
Yeah, so Donald Trump talks. There was a lot of talk about election integrity and voter turnout, and they were very smart. They were talking about getting the Amish out there voting, and truck drivers and hunters, and protecting Second Amendment rights. And they were really hitting on different groups within Pennsylvania. I'll be surprised if he doesn't take Pennsylvania after being at that rally. But then he does it. Okay, Elon, come on out. And, of course, you saw Elon with his black hat. He's doing the dark MAGA, and he jumps up. The crowd was electric. It was amazing. I mean, I've seen some big concerts in my day, Rob, and you said this was bigger than a Rolling Stones concert or Bruce Springsteen or Luke Combs or whoever you love to listen to. When Elon came out, the crowd went wild. And then when he talks, they were really hanging on what he had to say. And he was talking about the importance of this election. And then, of course, he ended it with, instead of fight, 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 it was vote, vote, vote.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And then the sun was going down, and it started getting cold. They closed it with that opera singer, and it was just, you know, with the lights and Donald Trump and just everything. And I have to tell you, the thing that struck me, everybody was there helping one another because we were in the bleachers. And we were in the bleachers for quite a few hours. People had to go up and down the bleachers to use the restroom or get, you know, something to eat, whatever. And there's some older people in that crowd who were struggling to climb up and down the stairs. Everybody, every single person was being so helpful and so cautious and trying to safeguard one another. It was really a group team effort, not only from Team Trump and from all of his people, but everybody in the crowd. It was just this entire vibe of we're looking out for each other today. We're here to do this together. We all want this to be a success, and we're going to show the world that we can do this. And they did it. It was amazing, Rob. I can't believe it. I went from never have going to a rally before to sitting underneath that American flag 20 feet away from Donald
I
Trump.
love that you got to do all. Do you have an estimate? Was there an estimate of how many people were actually there?
Well, you know what? I think it was like the New York Post or the Times. Somebody said 20,000. I've heard comments about 100,000. I would associate it. I've been to the Big House at Michigan when it's been packed for a game. I'm going to estimate it was closer to 80,000 because it was a stadium-sized crowd.
Wow.
Casey, from your perspective, going back to the first time you went to Butler, were you able to see the rooftop? Were you able to see, did they have multiple Secret Service now stages on that rooftop?
They had, what I could see, they had 3 snipers up there, and everybody was commenting on it. Jerry, the police presence and security presence was incredible. And at one point, Jim asked me if I was nervous, and I said, well, you know what, let's just keep our head on a swivel. Let's know where the exits are, just everything. You want to be safe, right? And he had commented to me, this is probably the safest place in the country right now. And he was right, because the security presence was there. You could see it. They were visible. And after he reminded me of that, I was not worried at all. But I will tell you, having sat in those bleachers right behind Donald Trump, that those people were sitting ducks if anything were to happen. But J.D. Vance came out, and I don't know if you saw the clip of this, if it was circulating around the internet, but when J.D. Vance walked out, he walked out to the center of the stage, went in front of the bulletproof glass, and spread his arms wide open as to say, you know what,
that's great.
It's okay.
That's awesome. Casey, man, I'm so glad you got to do this. What a cool experience. And I know it's your couple days off, but thank you so much for taking some time to share it with us and our audience. I said, man, we got to let everybody know that you went and you did this. You can see a bunch of the stuff, like at Casey Daniels 317 on Twitter, at Casey Daniels 317 on Instagram, the TikTok, all of it, right, Casey?
Yeah, I'm going to post it up here in just a little bit, and I know that Nick is going to post it on the WYBC socials as well. And when I think that this started off with just, hey, you know what, I'm going to be driving by there, maybe we should stop, to what it ended up being. I mean, it was incredible. And after experiencing that, and it cost me $0.
I love it.
Wow.
$0. I understand why people get really excited about going to his rallies.
I love it. I'm so glad you and Jim had that experience. Casey, enjoy the rest of your days off, and we'll see you back here on Thursday.
All right. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Jerry.
That was Casey Daniels and Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish in for Casey. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Round 2 on the way. It's 53 and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Storm surge and hurricane warnings as well as watches have been issued in parts of Florida, as well as Hurricane Milton continues to strengthen in the Gulf of Mexico. As of the latest update from the National Hurricane Center, it is a Category 3 storm just over 700 miles from Tampa and is expected to move near the Yucatan Peninsula today. It's October 7th, 1 year since the massacre in Israel that started a war between Israel and Hamas. Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
Vice President Kamala Harris and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff will plant a memorial tree at the vice president's residence before giving remarks a White House official says will reflect on the pain and loss from October 7th. Former President Trump will speak at an October 7th remembrance event at one of his golf courses in Florida. The Trump campaign says that event will include Jewish community leaders and will focus on the victims of anti-Semitic violence worldwide since the attacks. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
You may have seen it a while back.
A princess? Shut up!
Actress Anne Hathaway posting on social media over the weekend, appearing to confirm that Princess Diaries 3 is in the works. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. Stocks are lower as oil prices appear to be going up. The Dow is off 168 to 42,183. The NASDAQ down 63 to 18,074. And the S&P 500 is down 20 to 5,730. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hoosiers need a fighter to protect our jobs and our values. I'm Todd Rokita, your Attorney General. I fight for you, and together we win. Suing Biden because he's opened the border to illegals who are killing us, harming our kids, and driving up our taxes. Stopping federal bureaucrats who kill jobs and jack up our electricity prices with their failed Green New Deal that does nothing for our air and water. Keeping criminals behind bars where they belong. Recovering millions of dollars from welfare theft, fraud, and from opioid drug manufacturers, all to protect your health and your tax dollars. Creating the Parents' Bill of Rights so you can protect our kids from those trying to corrupt them while you're at work. Successfully keeping boys from competing in girls' sports and defending, of course, our pro-life values. And the Gun Owners' Bill of Rights so you can defend yourself and your family. I'm Todd Rokita, and with your vote this November, we'll keep fighting and winning together. Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. That's 800-810-1820.
Truck drivers, are you tired of missing out on valuable time at home? At Midwest Logistics Systems, you can find a local dedicated job that gets you home every day. Plus, we offer predictable Monday through Friday schedules with occasional Saturdays. As an MLS driver, you'll haul 100% no-touch freight, earn performance and safety bonuses, and have access to full benefits. Don't wait. Upgrade your driving job today. Search jobs and apply now at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com. That's MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
Just when I was getting used to being a single mom to 2 kids, I learned I was about to be laid off. I had no idea how I would make ends meet. Then I heard about the Indiana Emergency Rental Assistance Program, and I applied for help.
This is Diane's story. Indiana renters who are struggling to pay rent can call 211 or visit indianahousingnow.org to apply for rental assistance through this limited time program. We're here for Diane. We're here for renters. We're here for you.
Based on a real story program funded by the U.S. Department of Treasury.
Have you lost Indiana Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
Oh, yeah! A little deep Mellencamp. I like it. It's the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Andy Spanglish, Jerry Lopez in for Casey. So Tim Walz did a legit interview over the weekend, Spanglish. Did you see this?
I did. It was awesome.
He went on Fox News, and it was a complete train wreck. And this is the thing about these people, which is they can't even do fluff interviews well. Like, they struggle. Remember that one Kamala did with Oprah, and Oprah has this look on her face the entire time like, what? Why is it always these people? Like, we went from Obama to these people. And so Walz, I think because it has gotten out and that debate was so bad that this guy is a complete buffoon, we got to have him try to do something. He went on Fox News, and it was, I mean, it depends on what side of the aisle you're on, right? Like, if you're on our side of the aisle, you're like, oh, this is great. And if you're on the other side, you're just like, can we hide this guy? Can we hide this guy until Election Day?
Right, and it's amazing to see when they're in actual situations where people fact check the things they are saying, because that hasn't happened in the VP debate or the presidential debate, at least to the Democratic nominee.
You just touched on a great point, which is they live, and we'll get this a little bit later in the show, they, the left, live in the world where no one pushes back on our people. Everybody just smiles and nods. And then when people push back, they just look at you and go, because there's no answer to this. So we're going to play you a couple clips of this. And look, Tim Walz is a pathological liar. Like, there is zero doubt that this guy, he's one of these people who's told lies, and Biden does this, where they've told a lie for so long and gotten away with it. They don't, it's like meshed with the truth.
Well, they believe the lie now. They've told themselves enough. Now they think it's the actual truth.
And he's lied about his military service. He's lied about this thing in Tiananmen Square. Just a whole host of things. And so he's on Fox News, and he gets called out about this, and he just says, nobody cares.
Out against it long before President Trump indicated he didn't like it either. Listen, before we go, because I wish that we had a full hour, I want to give you a chance, because you called yourself a knucklehead this week, to talk about some of your misstatements. Yes. You've modified your story or explained that you misspoke about things involving your military rank, about carrying a weapon in war, your 1995 DUI arrest, using IVF to have your beautiful children, Gus and Hope, being in Hong Kong and China in the summer of 1989 during the Tiananmen events. A lot of people would say they couldn't get away with saying, I'm just too passionate, my grammar's not right, I'm a knucklehead. What do you say to the American people who think, I don't know that I can trust this guy with all those modifications to be the potential commander-in-chief of this country?
Yeah, well, I think they heard me. They heard me the other night speaking passionately about gun violence and misspeaking. And I got to be honest with you, Shannon, I don't think people care whether I used IUI or IVF when we talk about this. What they understand is Donald Trump would resist those things. Look, I speak passionately. I had an entire career, decades before I was in public office. They know, and I'm very proud of my 24 years in service and my record. I have never disparaged someone else in this, but I know that's not what Donald Trump does. They disparage everyone. The personal attacks. I will own up when I misspeak. I will own up when I make a mistake. Let's be very clear.
You're not misspeaking. You're not making a mistake. You're lying, sir.
If my kid said I misspoke, Dad, I would just say, no, you lied. You lied. Own it.
And they don't, to go back to what you said, and it was such a great point, he doesn't have an answer for it, because there is no answer other than you lied. You are Uncle BS. You are the Tim Wilson character, Uncle BS. You are John Lovitz, the pathological liar guy on Saturday Night Live. He just left out, that's the ticket.
Well, and much of the country is just now even finding out who this guy is. Imagine if people actually dug into things he has said and fact-checked them. There's probably a whole host of lies that we don't know about.
Real quick, this clip is a little longer than what we normally play, but it's a really important issue. And one of the things that people need to know about some of these Democrats running for public office is how evil they are. And I don't use that term lightly. These people are evil. And I mean this because they believe in the right to kill an unborn baby from conception to live birth. Like they believe that is the property of the woman. And even though, I mean, look, you have kids. You have lots of kids. You have more kids than I do.
Yep.
But I'm going to tell you, somebody who at 8 weeks old saw the first ultrasound and saw my baby, flappers and all, moving and a heartbeat, that baby is living. And can you imagine the guy like Tim Walz signs this law in Minnesota that allows, for whatever reason a woman wants, to kill a baby from conception to live birth. And look, the crazy thing about this is people like Jennifer McCormick believe in this, who's running for governor here, Destiny Wells
believe in this. And not only they believe in it, they're super Spanglish. They're super passionate about it.
They are, but they're not having an honest conversation about it. That's the tricky part. Nobody wants to agree with you and say, well, up until live birth. They want to go, well, that doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
Rob. Well, if it doesn't happen, sign the law then. It shouldn't hurt anybody. If B isn't happening, then creating the law against B won't change anything.
That's such a great point, because she sat right now. She lied a whole bunch when she sat here with us, and we'll get to some of that a little bit later. But Jennifer McCormick tried to say, well, it's not happening. Then why wouldn't you sign a law saying, hey, can't do it after 7 months, right?
It's not happening anyway.
It is there. It is a church for these people. And this is not a policy difference. This is talking about life and death. This is talking about what we hold dear as a society. And I saw this. I was watching the college. It was Oregon and Michigan State played on Fox on Friday night. And Jennifer McCormick's running an ad. And the first thing she's talking about, first of all, this is beyond stupid on a program that is overwhelmingly geared towards men. It's horrible advertising. Whoever is telling her to run this ad during programming targeted at men should be fired. But right out of the gate, she's talking about abortion. Like, that's your thing. Your thing is not helping people be able to afford food or gas or property tax. Your thing is being able to kill babies on demand from conception to live birth. And Walls is the biggest offender of all of them. And so I'm going to play this back and forth because real quick, one thing I want to touch on just as a precursor to this is this story about Amber Thurman. So Amber Thurman is this woman who took an abortion pill. And we have heard from the right, from the pro-life people, about how dangerous some of these abortion pills are. Because they are.
Yep.
Because they are. And this woman took this abortion pill, and she had a horrible reaction to it, and she died because of it. But the narrative from the left, because they try to exploit anything they possibly can for political gain and to promote the killing of innocent babies, is, well, she died because of a botched abortion, because of abortion laws in another state. It's a flat-out lie. She took the abortion pill, which the right has been saying, and the pro-life people have been saying for a long time now, these are super dangerous, and you don't know exactly what's in them or how it's going to respond. And the anchor on Fox News did a phenomenal job of owning what a complete dirtball Tim Walz and the left are on abortion.
I want to clarify what the law is there in Minnesota. Abortion Finder, a website that helps women find access, says abortion is legal throughout pregnancy in Minnesota. There is no ban or limit on abortion in Minnesota based on how far along in a pregnancy you are. You signed the bill that makes it legal through all 9 months. Is that a position you think Democrats should advocate for nationally?
Look, the vice president and I have been clear. The restoration of Roe versus Wade is what we're asking for.
But that law goes far beyond Roe v. Wade.
To make her own choice. The law is very clear. It does not change that. That has been debunked on every occasion.
But wait. Let's agree. What you signed is there's not a single limit through 9 months of pregnancy. Roe had a trimester framework that did have limits through the pregnancy. The Minnesota law does not have that.
This puts the decision with the woman and her health care providers. The situation we have is when you don't have the ability of health care providers to provide that, that's where you end up with a situation like Amanda Zaworski in Texas, where they are afraid to do what's necessary. This doesn't change anything. It puts the decision back on to the woman, to the physicians, and we know that this is simply something to be brought up to be very clear. Donald Trump's asking for a nationwide abortion ban.
Wait, he
and
has
again,
said that
we don't see this as a winning
repeatedly
campaign.
that he will not sign a national abortion ban. Are you calling that just, it's a flat-out lie?
Yes, of course, and Senator Vance has in the past said so too. Now look, they may see this as an election issue. We see it as a right of women to make their own bodily decisions, and that's what the states like my state have the ability to put that in. States like Georgia force women to cross the border, and then we have a death of Amber Thurman. So let's be very clear. Trying to cut hairs on an issue on this is not where the American public's at. They want the restoration of Roe versus Wade. Vice President Harris said she would sign it. That's what we'll do when we're elected.
But to be clear, the Minnesota law is far beyond Roe v. Wade. And about the Amber Thurman case in Georgia, her family has, and it's tragic, she is a young mother who left behind a young son. But what her family has said is it was a complication from an abortion pill that she received, and she didn't get proper care when she went to a Georgia hospital, which had multiple opportunities to intervene there. Her own attorney attorney, the family's attorney, says it wasn't the Georgia law, it was the hospitals. What he claims is malpractice, not treating her when she clearly showed up in distress and still had the byproducts of her pregnancy because of that rare complication from the abortion pill. So just to be clear on the Georgia law and how her family and her attorney sees it.
Great job by that moderator on Fox News. And you're right, Spanglish. These people fall apart when anybody tells them the truth. He lied about the Amber Thurman thing. The left is lying about the Amber Thurman thing. And great on her. These people are gross. That is evil. Killing unborn, living babies. These people are just evil, and it's disgusting. It just breaks my heart.
Yeah, it's like the erosion of not only family but society, right? Getting rid of parents and parental rights and wanting you to give all your parental rights to the government. They're our kids. They're the community's children. Right? Well, now you've got this whole influx of mental illness on the left, and now you want to convince me that this thing that has a heartbeat that I can feel kick isn't even alive?
Yeah, we got so much more to get to with this. Spanglish in for Casey. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
The victims of Hurricane Helene need our help. Go to salarmy.us/Indiana EDS. That's salarmy.us/Indiana EDS. From the Salvation Army and WIBC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9379. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9379. That's 800-575-9379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Think of everything you do to provide for your family. A home, food on the table, healthcare, vacations, and saving for your kids' education. It's all good as long as you're alive, but it's only a drop in the bucket of what they'll need if you die without life insurance. Buying term life insurance is not something you can afford to put off. Call the Term Lifeline now for the lowest possible rates on quality term life insurance. Term life rates are at all-time lows, and we can save you up to 70%. If you already have coverage, you could be paying too much. One call could save you thousands of dollars. We have great rates for smokers, too, or if you have health problems. Providing for today is good, but it's not enough if you die prematurely. Call the Term Lifeline today for a free quote. Protect your family and see if you could save up to 70%.
866-549-TERM. 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 That's 866-549-8376.
Looking for a great deal on a new Lincoln? Come to Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. 0% for 60 months is back. Get 0% APR for 60 months on every new 2024 Lincoln Navigator and get a $4,000 discount. You can also take $3,000 off every new 2024 Lincoln Corsair, 70 available. We look forward to seeing you at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Well-qualified buyers with approved credit. Not all buyers will qualify. Taxes and dealer fees extra. Stock L24401, MSRP 107425. Stock L24284, MSRP 43435. See dealer for complete details.
I love my Window Nation windows. They look great on my house. Window Nation's 96% customer satisfaction rating, the highest in their industry.
And Window Nation's energy-efficient windows can save you up to 40% on your energy bill. I know because I'm a customer and I've seen it. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows for free, plus pay nothing, no interest for 2 years. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is making its way back to Gamebridge Fieldhouse on December 19th with an all-new show.
The Lost Christmas Eve Tour. For tickets and more information, head to WIBC.com.
Everybody's feeling the pinch on inflation, even people who make six figures. And well, I'll tell you what, the Wall Street Journal has a new article about that. It's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish in for Casey. This is what's wild about how bad inflation actually is. Wall Street Journal has this article. When I was a kid, it was like if you made $100,000 a year, I thought you were, the tippy top Spanglish. And this article's talking about how, especially depending on where you live, you're basically, now six figures spans a very wide swath of numbers, but you're not a rich person anymore because the buying power in this country has been so diluted.
But not only that, but I think, what is it? More money, more problems, right? So you might be richer, but your house note is more, your car note's more. All these things cost more with retirement and all these other things coming apart. Yeah. It's crazy to think. Yeah, if I made $100,000, I got it going on. Now $100,000 is more like 65.
Yeah. You told me how much it costs you to go out and eat this weekend.
Yeah. Me and my girlfriend went out to eat. Great place, great establishment out in Avon. I had 10 wings and a side of fries. She had avocado egg rolls. We both had 2 Stellas apiece. $81. That's pre-tip.
How much?
$81.
Before the
that was pre-tip. And that's literally all we got. I had wings and a side of fries. She had avocado egg rolls, 2 tall Stellas apiece.
Yeah, I don't know how some people are even doing it. My wife and I had this conversation the other day. We were driving home from church, and she's like, I'd like to stop and get so-and-so for lunch. And I said, oh, no. I said, we just went to the store, and we bought all this stuff. We're eating it all because it's so damn expensive. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, the media in this country has a new obsession, and it's with trying to disprove everything that's happening in North Carolina and how bad a job FEMA's actually doing. The media in this country, shameless. Spanglish in for Casey. Talk about it next. Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WELL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WELL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WELL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code WELL.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're good at insurance. But not just any insurance. We're good at...
No.
Did you forget the parking brake? Yes, you forgot the parking brake. Insurance.
when the forecast calls for cheeseball-sized hail insurance.
Even shouldn't have parked under that tree. Insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Hi, Donald Trump Jr. here. I never thought I'd see price fixing as a campaign promise. What's next? Is your 401k or IRA on the left's to-do list? This is why you need to act now and protect your nest egg. I believe gold is the answer. To find out more, get a free info kit from Birch Gold by texting the word SHELTER to the number 989898. Act now to secure your financial future. Text SHELTER to the number 989898 for your free info kit from Birch Gold.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Family Heating and Air Conditioning? We'll find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Royal Spa hot tubs are simply better. Come into any of our locations and make the salesperson prove the superiority of the Royal Spa product.
Royal Spa.
Coming up in 2 minutes, why firefighters in Indianapolis were in for a long night last night. Plus, a witness in the Delphi murders case has been arrested. And what this candidate for Congress is saying to sway you to vote for him. I'm Kirk Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recyclers Studios after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You're listening to 93 WYBC, WYBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
Milton is getting mightier. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's quickly grown to just shy of a Category 5 hurricane with 150-mile-an-hour winds, 50 more than just a few hours ago.
It is expected to make landfall on the west coast of Florida sometime between Wednesday evening or perhaps even very early on Thursday.
Governor Ron DeSantis says they're readying a response and evacuations. Fox's Zebin Brown reports.
Thousands on Florida's west coast are stocking up and boarding up, but thousands more are already packing up and heading out.
This is the first time we ever even talked about doing sandbags or tarps, and everyone that I know who usually is like, we'll ride it out, is like, we're leaving.
Hope Swaim lives in St. Petersburg, which just was ravaged by storm surge 2 weeks ago by Helene.
And there are still search and rescue efforts in some areas devastated by that storm, blamed for at least 230 deaths.
500 additional active duty troops are moving into western North Carolina, the White House says, in addition to the 1,000 troops deployed last week. In total, more than 6,100 National Guard forces from 18 states and 7,000 federal personnel are on the ground in communities recovering.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. Republicans are critical of the response. Trump running mate J.D. Vance tells Fox there's too much bureaucracy.
Because of it, a lot of folks in North Carolina are suffering unnecessarily.
It's been a year since the Hamas terror attack in Israel.
In the year since Hamas...
A year later, the war rages on in the distance. We've heard Israeli attack helicopters overhead, artillery in the distance. And earlier today, Hamas was firing rockets, not just into southern Israel, but also targeting Israel's second largest city of Tel Aviv.
As Fox's Trey Yingst, there are still 101 hostages being held by Hamas after the kidnappings 1 year ago, but 36 are confirmed dead, 65 of those hostages believed to still be alive. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A busy night for firefighters. Radar is clear, 56 and sunny downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. 4 homes that were vacant caught fire overnight throughout the city. IFT Battalion Chief Rita Wright says they're still figuring out how they caught fire.
These houses all appeared to be ones that have been around for a while, so they would be, not lightweight construction, and investigators will look into that. Was there something used to start these fires?
There was also another fire on the north side in which a family of 5 had to get out with their dog. All are okay. A defense witness in the Delphi murders case has been arrested. Todd Click, a former state police trooper and DCS investigator, has been arrested for forgery, among other things. Click was part of an investigative committee looking into possible ties between the killings and Odinism. Jefferson Shreve ran unsuccessfully for mayor of Indianapolis last year, but Shreve now believes that he's the man to succeed Greg Pence in the Indiana 6th since Pence is stepping aside. Shreve says that he wants to see a secure border if elected.
We need a physical barrier that will run across the southern border, and we've got to complete that job. And then we need to fix our broken immigration system.
Talking to All Indiana Politics, he also wants to tamp down on government spending. If you love hunting, you may be able to hunt at a state park near you soon. Ryan Hedrick reports.
It comes around every year. The Indiana State Deer Park Management Hunt Draw allows about 6,000 people to hunt at nearly all the state parks. Anthony Sipes with the DNR says the state's deer population can grow to unmanageable sizes.
That comes along with a lot of impact to other wildlife species to try to make sure that they all have a chance to make it out there. We try to limit that abundance.
You have to make sure you get your application in before October 27th. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The first bowl-eligible team in college football is the now number 18 ranked Indiana Hoosiers. They beat Northwestern 41-24 on Saturday.
It's the first time we've really been tested like that. You know, our offense kind of responded every time they needed to.
Head coach Kurt Signetti, the Hoosiers, heading into a bye week this week. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Those who don't have 20/20 vision usually do something about it. But many who can't breathe freely through their nose just live with it, not realizing they can have 20/20 breathing. At Advent, we're out to change that. With 20/20 breathing, you'll have fewer sinus infections, more energy, you'll sleep better, and you will live better. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. In 2006, Advent pioneered the balloon sinuplasty procedure. And since, thousands of our patients can tell you, this simple 20-minute in-office solution really works. Balloon sinuplasty can give you 20/20 breathing so you can breathe freely through both nostrils with your mouth closed day and night. And that can change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving Central Indiana.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
The media is obsessed with what they call misinformation in North Carolina, and it's really pathetic. It's the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Indy Spanglish, Jerry Lopez in for Casey. All right, so tomorrow, Spanglish, you know how we do it here. We go directly to the source. We don't. We got guys everywhere, and so tomorrow we're going to have a guy on who has spent a ton of time in the areas that were worst impacted by that hurricane. Literally beat the storm by a few hours, was driving back from South Carolina. We've talked in the show before where that storm went through, where Helene went through. I know exactly that route because it's the route I used to drive for many, many years when I owned my radio station down near Wilmington. And it's like the areas they're showing and images they're showing. It's like I drove there. I know those places. I remember those. I would get off on those exits. I mean, And tomorrow we're going to have somebody on who's been in regular communication with the people there to the extent that they can communicate, beat that storm by a few hours driving back, and we're gonna tell you about how bad it actually is. But what's amazing to me, Spanglish, is the media is obsessed. The same media that basically ended the presidency of George W. Bush over Katrina is obsessed with making sure whether it's an AI image or whatever that is shared, they're obsessed with making sure you don't get any misinformation that might make Kamala Harris look bad.
Yeah, and there was a little spat over the weekend between Elon and Mayor Pete.
Yes.
Right? Talking about why are you blocking? We're trying to drop off Starlink to provide internet access, and we're entering into a new day and age where everybody has a camera and everybody has a phone,
Right.
so everybody can be a journalist. And whether we're talking politics or disaster recovery, we're getting frontline access from regular people, and the big media is having a hard time trying to cover all this up.
Yeah, so I love, there's this AI image of a girl in a boat with
the puppy.
with the dog, and it's an AI image, but the point of it is it's happening. Like, that's happening all over the place. Clearly, like, having just spent years driving through that area, you don't need be a rocket scientist to know those people are screwed beyond belief. That image is not something that's outside the mainstream of, look, there's a girl with 9 fingers on each hand it's like, okay, so that image, whether it's real or not, that crap is clearly happening. And the media, like I saw old 2Ls, Bob Siegel losing it here over misinformation. I don't know. He accused Rakita of saying something or whatever it was. And I just responded to him and I said, hey, old 2Ls over there at THR, could you guys maybe figure out verify something local, like where, I don't know, Hogsett was during the riots? Because remember, 2Ls had egg all over his face because he was obsessed with trying to disprove Hammer and Nigel's claims about Camp Atterbury, that those Afghan refugees were destroying the thing. They did this big expose, like, oh, we talked to the government and they said it's not happening. And then it turned out it absolutely was happening, and it was millions of dollars of damage. And I find it fascinating that a local media here, who won't lift a finger to figure out where the mayor who went missing during the riots is obsessed with making sure you don't get any misinformation on North Carolina.
Yeah, it makes it really hard to trust any media these days. And if you take a step back, how long has this been going on? Like, we just found out that they're full of it within the past 10 years. And no wonder our parents and our parents' parents, and they have no clue.
So the new thing the national media is trying to do, they're obsessed with, because clearly there have been billions of dollars of our money spent to
host Mis Amigos.
Thank you.
I'll say it.
I don't think
you
can go for it.
I will. They've spent all this money letting in these illegals into this country, reimbursing people like Mayor Adams and all these hotels. That's who's paying for this, is FEMA. And now the American people need help. And, well, we might not have enough money for everybody, so take $750.
Well, and so the excuses on this from the national media about, well, this is not accurate. These are different funds. It's like when Planned Parenthood says we don't get any money from the federal government for abortion. It's a different pool. Well, it's the same organization. And if you're giving an organization money who does abortions, then we are giving federal money for abortions. You can lie to yourself in whatever capacity you want to, but it's the same thing here. If we're out of money and we gave money
to Mis Amigos,
to these, to the
Amigos. Say it, Rob. Say it, Rob. The Amigos.
Look, your parents immigrated to this country.
It means friends, Rob.
It's like there's certain things Abdul can say that I can't, and I'm not willing to potentially lose my job. There's certain things I would potentially be willing to risk losing my job over. This is not one of them. And you can say it. It's things Spanglish can say that I can't.
But have you ever? It really breaks my heart just as a veteran. Like forget politics. They don't even care about the American people.
Yeah.
I don't care if you voted for Kamala or Trump or Biden or whoever. If you're an American and you're struggling out in the mountain range, you lost your whole city and your kids don't have food, you deserve help from us.
Yeah, you're right. And so I'm going to play you a couple clips of this obsession by the media now, trying to, I mean, again, it doesn't matter what fund it comes out of. The fact is, billions of dollars, our money went to house these illegal immigrants, take care of these illegal immigrants, and now, not only is the government crying poverty on helping people in North Carolina, they're trying to villainize people like Mike Braun and Jim Banks and these other Republicans in this state who voted against just a blank check to FEMA, when the reality is FEMA had money and FEMA blew huge amounts of money on illegal immigrants. Listen to this back and forth. So Laura Trump, she's the head of the RNC, is that right? She was on with CNN, and listen to this back and forth, this CNN anchor desperately trying to defend FEMA.
I'm incredibly concerned in North Carolina. I hear every day from people on the ground there, and they are desperate for help. It is a dire situation there. I actually think we don't even know the extent yet of truly how bad it is there. And
Look, Kamala Harris did come out and say it's $750 per family right now. The idea that we've spent $650 million in fiscal year 24 on the migrant crisis that Kamala Harris was responsible for stopping, and by all accounts, she created by having an open door policy at our southern border,
but
is
Laura,
infuriating.
Laura, let me just stop you right there.
Of this country.
Let me just stop you right there, because I just want to not let this get out there. You are right that FEMA is giving $750, but that is a first step. It's for immediate needs. It's called the serious needs assistance.
Dana, and said that they are out of money in terms of their hurricane relief. We have another hurricane heading towards Florida right now.
What they have said is that there is money
right now. Why don't they have anything in order? Why is it that right now the citizens in Western North Carolina are screaming for help, and it's having to come from local citizens? People from my hometown of Wilmington are driving across the state 6 hours to go to the mountains and help people.
It is bad.
Where is our federal government? Why are they out of money?
It is bad there, but my question is about the misinformation, particularly the notion that they are moving money to migrants, to, you say, undocumented migrants, which FEMA says flatly is not true. And if people are not getting correct information, then they can't go for assistance as they have been asked for. I just want to quickly play with Senator Tom Tillis.
Let me just say for 1 second.
Go ahead.
You have migrants being housed in luxury hotels in New York City. We have paid so much money from our tax dollars into the crisis that didn't need to happen. We could redirect money to help people immediately on the ground in North Carolina, or
they're
in
saying
Florida,
that they
where we're probably going to have a situation coming up in the next several days.
That's a separate tranche of money. That's a separate tranche of money.
So
I want you to listen
offensive.
to. I want you to.
All right, so she, the CNN lady, is obsessed. She doesn't care at all. She admits, oh, yeah, it's really bad, but there's misinformation out there. We don't want to have any misinformation. She's way more concerned about how the air quote misinformation is making Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and Joe Biden look, rather than acknowledging they've totally blown it. She doesn't care at all about those people, that their lives are ruined. And by the way, there's nothing there. What are they supposed to do with the $750?
Right.
There's not like there's a store you can go to and go buy something. What the hell are you supposed to do with the $750?
So like a couple things. One, we're a country that writes billion-dollar checks to other countries.
Yeah, that's correct.
We're a country that lets you come in. We will fly you to a city you want to live in on our dime. We'll give you a card that you can use at the grocery store on our dime. We'll give you a cell phone on our dime. But we don't have stuff for our own people. So I'm going to fix this right now. People of North Carolina, if you're listening, one, the governor of North Carolina should immediately identify as the country of Ukraine. Number two, if you are an individual that lives in the area that was hit by a hurricane, immediately identify as a black lesbian WNBA player. We will come there. We will save you immediately. If you want help from the U.S. government, you must do these two things.
All right, real quick. So Tom Cotton, he's a senator from Arkansas. He was on Meet the Press, and the host of Meet the Press, she tried the same bull crap with him about the FEMA and the money to illegals, and he wasn't having any of it.
My broader question to you, I think, is about this misinformation. Do you think this is a time to put falsehoods aside, like the idea that FEMA funds are being redirected to migrants, which is just not true?
Well, it is true that FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security have been spending billions of dollars on migrants. Now, I understand some people say they're separate funds, but we just passed a short-term spending bill. It's very common for the administration to come and ask for permission to move money between funds, especially to prepare for emergencies. And second, I would note that this administration seems to have no problem finding money when they want to spend it on their priorities. When they need hundreds of billions of dollars to pay off student loans for graduate students in gender studies programs, they somehow find it. When it's trying to get helicopters to deliver food and water and cellular service and life-saving medicine into these mountain valleys, they somehow can't seem to find the money.
Yeah, spot on. I mean, look, didn't we just give a bunch of millions to Lebanon, hundreds of millions to Lebanon? I mean, it is that. Here's the thing about these Democrats, that the worst part about them, well, I don't know if it's the worst part, but it's up there. It's not even their policies, it's how bad they are during crisis. Like East Palestine, right? Think about how bad that was. Think about how bad this is. They are so inept They are so inept that at the times where you actually do need the government, they're never there.
Well, it doesn't benefit them for you to pick yourself up by your bootstraps because then you won't depend on them anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? So not only do they not want to help you, but they're going to make sure nobody else can help you either.
Indy Spanglish, Jerry Lopez, in for Casey today. When we come back, Kamala Harris was on 60 Minutes over the weekend. I'm sorry, Face the Nation over the weekend, also 60 Minutes. And, this is going to shock you. It didn't go well. She had to answer there was some rare, unaccountable, accidental acts of journalism that took place. Didn't go well. We'll play it for you coming up next.
Hammer and Nigel.
J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate. Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, running alongside Kamala Harris. I think J.D. Vance was smooth.
Like so many people thought Donald Trump's running mate was going to be this. They're eating the dogs, crazy, lunatic, MAGA hat-wearing crazy guy. But he was the one that was calm, reserved, and smart.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob from my friends at We Grow Hair Indy, and it's hard to believe it's almost been 4 years since I made the choice to head over to We Grow Hair Indy and get my hair back. And every time I look in the mirror, I'm glad I did. So let me tell you how this works at We Grow Hair Indy. First of all, you call today, 317-522-2995, 317-522-2995, and you schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. And what happens is you go in there, Darren and the gang take a look at what's going on the top of your head. They hear what you'd like to have accomplished, and then they give you some suggestions on what they might be able to accomplish. And then the ball is in your court. You can see the results of what other people have had from We Grow Hair Indy by heading to their website, WeGrowHairIndy.com, WeGrowHairIndy.com, and get the ball rolling today with that free consultation. 317-522-2995. We Grow Hair Indy. Tell them Rob sent you.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Is your pet a digging enthusiast, an escape artist, or a counter surfer? Invisible Fence brand has you covered. For the wannabe landscaper, we've got a solution to keep them active but not destructive. For the escape artist, our personalized pet fences keep them safe and sound at home. Counter surfer? No problem. We know how to keep cheese thieves at bay. Invisible Fence brand. Tailor-made solutions for your pet, your yard, and your needs. Visit invisiblefence.com today.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
So Kamala went on CBS and got some actual pushback. And, well, you notice this. By the way, Spanglish is in for Casey today. It's Kendall and Casey show. Jerry Lopez in for Casey. I'm Rob. Kevin's here. You notice we talked about this in the first hour. Anytime these lefty politicians get any sort of pushback, they crumble because the whole narrative is so ridiculous that it only can exist when the media is not only cheerleading them, but also propping it up and not pushing back against them.
Fair. And same thing. I'm so tired of hearing about Project 2025. It's been debunked from every corner of the world, yet it still keeps getting pushed.
Right. Well, they have nothing to run on. And when you look at just what's going on in this country right now, and you and I were talking about, in light of that Trump rally over the weekend, and Casey describing all the people that were there, whether it's 80,000 or 100,000 or, who knows how many people are actually there, and the momentum he has in Pennsylvania, how is this election going to go? And I just wonder, because let's face it, Pennsylvania elected a guy in John Fetterman who literally in a debate said, "Hi, good night, everybody." I mean, so clearly the standard of competence doesn't exist.
I mean, but Dr. Oz was not a good candidate.
No. But how could you vote for a guy that's so mentally out of it that he says, hi, good night, everybody?
Lost a lurch.
Right. So you do wonder, because you and I look at this and go,
well, Joe Biden was elected and had no rallies, no campaign, no momentum. Basement Biden, and still won.
So does this matter? The blatant incompetence matter to anyone? But you would think people, no matter what, look, there's some people that are so partisan it's not going to matter on both sides of the aisle. But there's a group of people still in the middle, for lack of a better term, in this country that go, we're supposed to be better than this. We're supposed to be able to do basic things. And there's nothing in this country right now that you look at and go, ooh, that's going really well.
Yeah, but we're talking about a society where everybody wants to be liked.
Yeah,
right. So if I don't like Trump, then he can't be my president.
Yeah, you're right. And so Kamala went on, it's Face the Nation's the morning show, and then I think they use it for 60 Minutes in the evening. She went on CBS. And to their credit, she actually got some pushback, especially as it relates to what's going on in the Middle East. And I think one of the things the Democrats she in particular is in between a real hot rock and a hard place, Spanglish, because her base is a bunch of anti-Semitic, pro-terrorist, crazy people.
Yep.
I mean, like, we have seen this.
Death to Israel, death to America, Hamas flags, burning that's her constituency.
Yeah. And they're everywhere. It's not just like, oh, that's a fringe group of people. Like, that is.
We had that here in Indianapolis.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, that happened here at the Circle. This is Middle America, red state, about as red as it can get, super majority, and had a pro-Hamas caucus out here chanting death to Israel, death to America.
So she being Kamala, got pressed on, and it was actually a good way to ask the question. Not is Israel an ally, but is Netanyahu an ally? Give this guy credit, because they try to say, well, we don't like Netanyahu, but Israel's fine. No, he runs Israel, right? Like, he is the leader of Israel. So you can't, separate these things, because either you're in with him, you're in with them, or you're not in. And I hate that this is radio, because we can't show you. The visual on this is just her body language and wanting no part, and you'll hear the pause on this, of no part of this question is just unbelievable. Take a listen.
Do we have a real close ally in Prime Minister Netanyahu?
I think, with all due respect, the better question is, do we have an important alliance between the American people and the Israeli people? And the answer to that question is yes.
So didn't even answer the question. Came up with their own question that had nothing to do with government. Do the people that live in the country get along with the people that live in that country? Yes.
Okay, so follow-up. She kind of gets asked what is our policy, and like, what are we doing in the Middle East? And Spanglish, I'm going to let you listen to this and tell me what she meant in this word salad, because this is a question I keep asking myself. What is our policy in the Middle East, and is it working? And listen to this word salad.
Work that we do diplomatically with the leadership of Israel is an ongoing pursuit around making clear our principles, which include the need for humanitarian aid, the need for this war to end, the need for a deal to be done, which would release the hostages and create a ceasefire. And we're not going to stop in terms of putting that pressure on Israel and in the region, including Arab leaders.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
What?
All right, so welcome to a new segment called Translating Kamala. All right, so what she meant there, Rob, was I know I don't have the respect of anybody that we're fighting against.
Yeah.
So the best I can do is put pressure on our allies to hope that they just turn the other cheek and continue to get smacked so the other group will give up the hostages. It makes no sense what she is asking.
This is part of a broader thing, though, with government. Like, I ask this all the time. I ask this about the state of Indiana. I ask this when I have I decide to torture myself and go to these local government meetings there in Weyerhaeuseburg, where I live on the west side. And as I will look at them, the last meeting, they're passing the budget right now. And I stood up and I said, can you guys tell me what your goal is here? What are you trying to do? Because it doesn't seem like there's any mission statement, there's any goal, there's any way by which you judge what you're trying to do.
We're going to form a committee to figure out what we're going to do, Rob.
Right. I said, just give me a short thing so that I know each meeting. I'm not even saying, well, I'm going to agree with you, but at least I know, are you achieving the goal that you have set forth for yourself so I can judge you based on how you're judging yourself? And they just stare at you because they don't have any vision, because visions are hard, and it's accountability. And whether it's Warehouseburg on the west side of Indianapolis or Kamala Harris running the United States of America or Eric Holcomb in the state of Indiana, nobody has any vision, or at least if they do, they won't tell you. So you can't hold them accountable on if they're doing what they say they want to do or not.
So have you ever had to call a customer service line and it feels like they spend more time pushing your support case around to other people? This is what our government feels like. If they put forth half the effort trying to fix the issue as they do trying to pass the buck, we'd probably get things accomplished.
Yeah, you're right. All right, when we come back, we've got so much audio from that Trump rally over the weekend. You got Elon Musk speaking. Trump was on fire. We'll play some of it when we come back. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Milton will pack a punch. It's 58 and sunny downtown, a clear radar. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Some Floridians are either bracing for impact or getting out of Dodge as Hurricane Milton gets closer. Fox's Eben Brown.
Thousands on Florida's west coast are stocking up and boarding up, but thousands more are already packing up and heading out.
This is the first time we ever even talked about doing sandbags or tarps, and everyone that I know who usually is like, we'll ride it out, is like, we're leaving.
Hope Swaim lives in St. Petersburg, which just was ravaged by storm surge 2 weeks ago by Helene. Marco Williams lives there too.
Finishing up getting all these sandbags here, and then we're going to head back to the crib and put everything up, put some tarp down, and get everything moved out in the garage.
In Broward County, Florida, Eben Brown, Fox News.
A man is recovering after trying to set himself on fire during a weekend protest in Washington, D.C. The man was taking part in a pro-Palestinian protest near the White House when he tried to set his clothing on fire. Today marks 1 year since the war between Israel and Hamas started with a massacre at a music festival in southern Israel. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Fellas, if you're not upbeat like you used to be, it could be low testosterone. It affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. Guys have different T levels. We're not all the same. Don't go for TRT referred to as a standard dosage plan. Ask. There's a difference.
Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan like you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. Go to lowtcenter.com. Book that appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Truck drivers, are you tired of missing out on valuable time at home? At Midwest Logistics Systems, you can find a local dedicated job that gets you home every day. Plus, we offer predictable Monday through Friday schedules with occasional Saturdays. As an MLS driver, you'll haul 100% no-touch freight, earn performance and safety bonuses, and have access to full benefits. Don't wait. Upgrade your driving job today. Search jobs and apply now at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com. That's MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
Attention all Hoosiers, a historically important election is headed our way. The time to prepare for the election is now. Are you registered to vote? Do you have a plan to vote? The Indiana Secretary of State's office wants to remind you registering to vote or updating your registration is fast, easy, and can be done online at indianavoters.com. You must be registered 30 days before Election Day, so get registered and get out to vote. This message is sponsored by the Indiana Secretary of State's office.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Just when I was getting used to being a single mom to 2 kids, I learned I was about to be laid off. I had no idea how I would make ends meet. Then I heard about the Indiana Emergency Rental Assistance Program, and I applied for help.
This is Diane's story. Indiana renters who are struggling to pay rent can call 211 or visit indianahousingnow.org to apply for rental assistance through this limited time program. We're here for Diane. We're here for renters. We're here for you.
Based on a real story program funded by the U.S. Department of Treasury.
Are you concerned about rising property taxes? My name is Donald Rainwater, Libertarian candidate for governor. My plan would limit your property taxes to 1% of the purchase price of your property. It would never increase, and it would end once you've paid for 7 years. To learn more about my plan to make Indiana government less taxing, go to rainwaterforindiana.com and watch the televised gubernatorial debates this October. My name is Donald Rainwater, and I approve this message, paid for by Rainwater for Indiana.
This is Chris Wedican with Absolute Comfort. Go to absolutecomfort.org to find out how dual fuel systems can keep you absolutely comfortable all day, every day.
Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
Elon Musk spoke in Pennsylvania. And man, as we heard from Casey Daniels earlier in the program, the crowd was loving every second of it. It's Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Indy Spanglish, Jerry Lopez in for Casey. Kev's here. So let's get to the audio. And man, I'll tell you, look, Elon Musk, I've always found him, and I know he's got some issues that when he speaks kind of impact the way he's able to articulate. I mean, it's like when you think, oh my gosh, world's richest man, one of the greatest entrepreneurs in the world, you'd think this hyper-articulate Citizen Kane type guy is going to be
You're
up there.
expecting Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and you don't get it. I've always found him.
I mean, Rain Man.
And I know he has some issues that affect his ability to speak. And I'm not making fun of him when I say that. I just think he's way more compelling, like on social media or in print, than he is in actual interviews. But I thought he did a fine job in Pennsylvania. And here he is talking about his support for Donald Trump and how this is the most important election of our lifetime.
Well, first of all, I want to say what an honor it is to be here. And, the true test of someone's character is how they behave under fire. And we had one president who couldn't climb a flight of stairs, and another who was fist pumping after getting shot. Fight, fight, fight! Blood coming down the face. Now, America is the home of the brave. And there's no truer test than courage under fire. So who do you want representing America? Yeah, absolutely. And I think this election, I think it's the most important election of our lifetime.
Look, I think he brings a lot of star power. I don't know how much star power. We've had this conversation before, whether it's Taylor Swift or Bruce Springsteen or whatever. It's a different type of star power, though, because he's famous for doing stuff.
Right.
Creating things, employing people.
Does that matter?
Right. And I don't know.
Taylor Swift is famous for breaking up with boys, and we're worried about her endorsement.
Yeah, and I think in a modern era, people are sort of immune to, well, a celebrity said, so everybody's going to line up.
I hope you're right.
Behind that. But I'd like to think Elon Musk is famous, not for being a musician, obviously, or an actor or whatever. He's famous because he's kind of reinvented the way some people see the world.
Yeah.
Well, the economy operates.
He's the richest African American, right?
That is a very fair assessment.
It's nice to see an African American get out front and champion Trump. And hopefully this is just the beginning of other African Americans being able to stand up and fight for Trump.
Yeah. All right. So Trump obviously was the star of the show, though. We're going to play some audio throughout the remainder of the program today. And here he is saying he's going to fight for America.
So for the sake of our families, for the sake of our children, we will keep on going. And as the expression goes, I mean, I'm a little embarrassed to say it, to be honest with you, but I'm going to say it because a lot of people do say it. We will fight. We're going to fight for our country. We're going to fight for our country. And together we will save this country, we will restore the republic, and America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer and greater and more united than ever before. Our country will be united. You'll watch.
All right, so my question to you is, where do you think in the middle guy is at? Because one of the things, I think the mistake sometimes people make with Trump is the people there are the most passionate people in every room, but they're still just one vote apiece. And are they a reflection of where the people who generally decide elections are? And I put it to you where you think in the middle guy is at.
So the middle guy to me is on the Trump side, but not telling anybody about it.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you had Trump win the first one, then you had the media barrage, where you're just exhausted hearing about this guy, right? So you go with Biden, and now you realize you made a horrible mistake, because even though you feel less grimy voting for this guy, life sucks now. You can't pay for anything. The government's a disaster. We're now having FEMA disaster response. It's just been a mess. So I think quiet guy isn't talking about it, but he's going to vote for Trump. I hope.
All right. So I've got to ask a little life advice from you here, Spanglish.
Oh, God.
Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish on Twitter. By the way, you're so good on social media. You created a job here based on your social media.
That is 100% factual.
I mean, that's amazing.
100% factual.
Like, you had no radio experience whatsoever.
No.
You were just that funny on social media. And if you are not following Jerry, you totally should. Indy Spanglish on Twitter. But I found you to be a man of sound mind and good thought at most times.
And I know that there are things I can say that other people can't, and I say them on purpose.
And that's why I love when you're the fill-in guy, because you're willing to say the things that I'm usually thinking, but I can't.
Right.
I can't say. All right, so the Attorney General candidates, Rokita and Indiana Beto, Destiny Wells, they're going to have an actual debate on television October the 13th. CBS 4 Fox 59 does a program. It's called In Focus. It's like the local political show that runs before the big boy political shows. Mm-hmm. And they're going to have a 20-minute debate coming up October the 13th. It's going to air at 7:30 a.m. on CBS 4 and 9:30 a.m. on Fox 59. And, look, and we'll get into this in a second. I'm not a fan of Rokita, not because I don't like his politics, just I think he's in totally the wrong position as Attorney General, because I think he's too political for the position. However, that being said, and previous things that go back many, many years with Rokita, there is I can't think of a worse person to be the Attorney General of the state of Indiana than Destiny Wells. I mean, she has zero interest in upholding many of the laws of the state of Indiana, which is the job of Attorney General. She's a total on-demand abortion advocate lunatic. And the fact that she is out cheerleading the act of abortion, that she is all in on abortion, I mean, it is just a gross person. And so, our little nickname that bothers her, well, we have several nicknames for her, but one of the ones that really bothers her is on-demand abortion advocate, which I don't know what I call her.
She is.
Right. What do I call her?
If you're offended by that, then you know the idea is horrible.
Right. I mean, if you are for abortion with no limits, that a woman makes the choice from conception to live birth, which she is, which Jennifer McCormick is, I don't know what to call you other than you're an on-demand abortion advocate. And so Hammer and I were saying that if Rokita in this debate calls her an on-demand abortion advocate, which one thing I will say for Rokita, You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. He don't care. He'll say anything. And I think there's a chance he may do it. We decided we should do something nice for his office, and we would buy them pizza and beer. If he said it, he has to say it on TV. It has to make TV during the debate.
Does he know about this?
Well, here, Rokita was on with Hammer and Nigel on Friday.
Okay.
And they asked him about it, and here's what he had to say.
Attorney General Todd Rokita. Last thing here before we let you go. Your euchre partner, Rob Kendall, and I, we've been talking about this, and we've got a challenge for you with this upcoming debate that you have with Destiny Wells.
Oh, no.
If you, on the debate stage, call her an on-demand abortion advocate, Rob and I will buy pizza and beer for your entire office.
Well, I've pretty much got that as you won already, so.
It sounds like it's going to happen.
I'll probably get another disciplinary complaint for it, but we'll deal with that separately. But a bet's a bet.
That's happening, brother.
So I'm cautiously optimistic he's going to say it.
That sounds like it's happening.
It's got to make TV. And by to be clear, by the office, we just mean the little people that work in and around him. We're not talking about all the hundreds of people who work for the Attorney General. So here's the thing, Spanglish. Help me with this. As much as I'm not a fan of Rokita, I can't think of anybody I like less than Destiny Wells. And I feel like I might be able to help Rokita get a few votes, which means they would hurt her. And just out of spite to what an awful person she is, if he says that, don't I maybe have to
There's no
endorse
maybe,
Rokita?
Rob. There's no maybe. So I'm going to talk to you right now because I know who you are. You're the hesitant Trump voter. And you're the one that goes, man, I really hate the way he sounds. I really hate the way he runs the office. I really hate all this stuff about him. But you're not going to vote for the other lady, all right? So I'm going to tell you something, Rob. And I
can't just leave it blank?
No, well, you could, but that's, as a veteran, I didn't fight for your feelings. So I need you to take those out of your heart, put them in your pocket, and vote for what's best for the state, Rob. All right?
Oh,
Show me where he touched you. He's doing it. He's doing it. And I will. When is the debate? When is the debate?
It's going to air 7:30 Sunday morning, October 13th on CBS 4 and 9:30 on Fox 59. It's got to make air though.
All right, Indianapolis or anybody in the area at Todd Rokita. Find him on Twitter. Let's just give him reminders through the week. Don't forget to say on-demand abortion advocate. Let's make Rob's dream come true. And we're going to have Rob Kendall endorse Todd Rokita. If this happens, the world's going to shut down. Make that happen, world.
All right, let's take a break. Hammer joins us next. Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish in for Casey, 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show. We start at 3:06. We have a lot of fun. We're only given 10 seconds for this promo, so I'm going to keep talking until they cut me off. We hope.
It's starting to be fall in Indiana, the perfect time to tackle home projects you've been putting off before winter arrives. With Moss Roofing by your side, you don't have to do it alone. They're ready to assist with your roofing and siding needs, ensuring your home is safe and ready for the holidays. Let Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com, give your home a serious glow up with premium James Hardy siding, tough enough to face Indiana's wild weather and stylish enough to turn heads on your block. And the best part, their free inspections come with a 3D design preview so you could see your home's stunning makeover before the work begins. Contact Moss Roofing for a job done right every single time at Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com, or call 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 317-747-3665. That's 747-3665. Or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com. And don't forget, tell them Tony Katz sent you.
As summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-494-5004 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-494-5004. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Mortgage rates are down and creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving down prices. Maximize your home sale now with the market expert who delivers maximum money in less time, Mark Dietl. Perhaps you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Mark from Danville had to say about working with Mark Dietl. I finished building my new perfect home out of state and needed out of my old place quickly. Plus, to cover the cost of the new home, I needed a big price. The Mark Dietl team was my answer. My home sold in 3 days on the market over my asking price. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com. Tell him
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Don't you deserve health care you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for Indianapolis, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
The financial advisor industry is a flawed system. Find out how to fight back and protect your retirement on Expedition Retirement. Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
Join WIBC this Saturday for the Home and Garden Show live from Sullivan Hardware and Garden at 71st and Keystone from 9 to 1 for their perennials, trees, and shrub clearance with Sullivan Hardware and Garden and 93 WIBC.
If you like to win money, we've been your guys. It's the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Indy Spangler, Sherry Lopez in for Casey. Kev's here. And Jason Hammer, my partner in crime with the Degenerates Next Door podcast. You and I, we were on it this weekend.
Big, hairy American winning machines. That's what we've been. And again, we're not going to go perfect all the time.
Yeah.
But you got a chance to run the table again tonight.
This is like the Joe DiMaggio of NFL sports betting streaks, because I went 5-0 last week, and I'm 4-0 entering Monday Night Football tonight. That is public school math telling me I am 9-0 in my last nine bets that I've given the audience on the Degenerates Next Door sports betting podcast.
And I'm on an 11-4 run in college football, and I thought that was great. But you can go back-to-back perfect weeks in the NFL.
I am 17-13 in college, so we're 4 over there, and I think I'm 15-9 now in the NFL.
So as a group, you guys are 20-4 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're doing now. Look, water finds its level.
Yeah, of course,
right?
but 20-4, that's a serious heater.
Yeah, if you'd have bet $1 million a bet, you could have bought this radio station.
Now, that doesn't even count the prop bets that I've been throwing out because we keep those separately, and I'm 9 games over 500 on prop bets. We've been riding the Lightning on like Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow and
fade Purdue, baby.
So I want to just do this for the listeners. You guys aren't going to go paid handicapper once you start killing.
No.
All right, it's always going to be free for the public.
We have paid handicappers that come on our show, and they've been doing really well as well. David Stefanoff of FollowNeverFade.com. Kenny Britt of KB Sports. And then our pal, he's not a handicapper, but he's just a degenerate like us, comedian Scott Long. So we all get together, man, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesday's the college show, Thursday's the NFL show, and we're rolling.
And we're honest with our audience. Like, we're just dudes who like watching sports. We get feels on things. You know, we do research, but we're watching the games and we're betting on the games the way you would watch or bet on the games.
And we look like gamblers. You look at the guy that ESPN Bet has on the air with the man bun and the big hoop earrings and all that crap. There's no way that guy's ever yelled at a college kicker. I have, and I do it every weekend, and I feel like I represent the base.
He doesn't look desperate enough to be a gambler.
Right.
But here's the thing. What of these pros is doing as good as I've done so far this year?
No. What expert do you see on ESPN that's on the college heater that I'm on right now?
Exactly, right? And like water finds its level, you go up, you go down. But the show is doing very well. And isn't it amazing we broke all of our records this week because we did good the week before?
Yeah, like you look at the downloads that we get, it's shocking. I can't figure out why. When we do well, we get more downloads.
Well, you picked a great week to do well, Rob.
Yeah, it's and by the way, that fade Purdue, that's just straight money right now. I don't care if the spread is they're a 60-point underdog. You're fading Purdue because they stinks.
Looks like it's already at 19.
Oh, gee.
Purdue at Illinois this upcoming Saturday, 19 early on. So we'll have to take a look at that.
Hey, and we were as good as we've been. We've been awful on the Colts. We finally got a Colts bet right.
This was the weekend I exercised a few demons. I got Row Your Boat Guy right.
Minnesota.
From Minnesota. PJ Fleck, I can call him by his name now because he finally won a bet for me. Row Your Boat Guy. We got that right. And we got a Colts bet right, too.
Yeah, the Colts, what is that? That is 9 times in a row they've not only lost in Jacksonville, but also failed to cover the spread, which is amazing.
Is it weird that I got more worried when I found out Joe Flacco was going to be the quarterback? Because I was like, if Richardson goes, we'll probably lose. But Joe, we looked good.
Yes. And listen, I'm going to get crap from all the sports writer people in the city. You don't know what you're talking about. Joe Flacco gives the Colts a better chance to win the games.
Agreed.
And it's not even close. And you look at some of these quarterbacks in the league. Would you rather have Joe Flacco or Deshaun Watson right now?
Yeah, great.
Flacco.
Would you rather have Joe Flacco or Daniel Jones?
Flacco.
Joe Flacco or Justin Fields?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a number of quarterbacks you could go down where you're like, you know what? I think I would take Joe Flacco.
Is there any better feeling than what I did last night where I fell asleep in the middle of the game and woke up and checked and I won? I mean, I didn't have to put any effort into it and I still won. That's how good I am. I'm falling asleep and I'm still winning.
And that's why you need to follow the Degenerates Next Door wherever you get your podcasts. It's also on the WIBC website. And there's a Twitter handle, too. Rob created the Twitter handle. It's really complicated. He made it as difficult as possible. I can't remember what the handle is. But if you follow us, you'll find it.
Everything else was taken,
Is there a pick for tonight's game on there?
Oh, yeah.
He's got action tonight.
Mr.
His
Monday night.
perfect streak is on the line tonight.
Joe DiMaggio right here. Hammer, what's coming up this afternoon?
We are scheduled to have Mike Braun join us, and we are scheduled to have Rick Snyder, FOP president. He is in the hills of North Carolina, and some of the things he is seeing are going to absolutely break your heart.
Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Christine said, I highly recommend this company. They did my garage floor, and I absolutely love it. I'm planning on having them do my patio in the spring. Don't wait. Call them today, 317-751-9070. That's the number for Galaxy Concrete Coating. They can turn any concrete surface into a much better space. Find them online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call them 317-751-9070.
Jennifer McCormick backed Hillary Clinton for president. And when McCormick was in charge of education in Indiana, our schools ranked at the bottom. She even opposed school choice. Then McCormick backed Joe Biden for president and supported his $1 trillion spending scheme that caused all the inflation. Now she runs for governor on a plan that would increase your energy bills, create a new Office of Environmental Justice, and ban gas stoves. Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal.
This is Mike Braun. Here's my plan for Indiana. I'll enforce immigration laws even when the federal government fails to act, keeping our streets safe and secure. And my plan lowers more costs. I'll cut property taxes, reduce energy bills, and expand parental choice and school voucher programs. Indiana needs strong leadership. We can get it done.
Mike Braun, governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Attention all Hoosiers, a historically important election is headed our way. The time to prepare for the election is now. Are you registered to vote? Do you have a plan to vote? The Indiana Secretary of State's office wants to remind you, registering to vote or updating your registration is fast, easy, and can be done online at indianavoters.com. You must be registered 30 days before Election Day, so get registered and get out to vote. This message is sponsored by the Indiana Secretary of State's office.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here to elevate your protection game. Using the same simple password across all your accounts, that's risky. While updating your passwords to be more unique is a good start, true peace of mind comes with LifeLock. LifeLock doesn't just alert you to suspicious activity, but monitors for more uses of your personal info and will fix identity theft issues that arise, guaranteed, or your money back. Secure your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Is your pet a digging enthusiast, an escape artist, or a counter surfer? Invisible Fence brand has you covered. For the wannabe landscaper, we've got a solution to keep them active but not destructive. For the escape artist, our personalized pet fences keep them safe and sound at home. Counter surfer? No problem. We know how to keep cheese thieves at bay. Invisible Fence brand. Tailor-made solutions for your pet, your yard, and your needs. Visit invisiblefence.com today.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Coming up in 2 minutes, fires at several homes overnight throughout Indy. Plus, Donnie Burgess reports on a shooting at a youth football game. And if you love hunting, then it's time to start signing up for this particular hunting opportunity. I'm Kurt Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recyclers Studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
They'll light candles at the White House this hour. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, marking 1 year since the Hamas terror attack in Israel.
I woke up today with chills.
Moshe Emilio Lavi's brother-in-law is among the 65 hostages believed still alive.
I can't imagine that we're still in the crisis for a year, that Omi is under torture, under duress.
Hamas also has the bodies of 36 others in Gaza, where more than 40,000 Palestinians have been killed in the war still raging today.
There is true evil in the world, and when the good guys are against the bad guys, America should try as much as we can to support the good guys.
That's what Trump running mate J.D. Vance tells Fox. The former president will hold his own remembrance ceremony later today. Vice President Harris, in a 60 Minutes interview that'll air on CBS tonight, was asked if Israel's prime minister, who's under pressure to agree to a ceasefire, is a U.S. ally.
With all due respect, the better question is, do we have an important alliance between the American people and the Israeli people? And the answer to that question is yes.
Another hurricane bearing down on Florida's west coast. Milton has quickly grown this morning to about a Category 5 storm, 155-mile-an-hour winds.
Finishing up, getting all these sandbags here, and then we're going to head back to the crib and put everything up, put some tarp down.
He's getting ready in St. Petersburg as others get ready to evacuate an area already hit by Hurricane Helene a little over a week ago. Governor Ron DeSantis is urging people to keep cleaning up that damage.
This creates a safety hazard, and it also will increase the damage that Milton could do with flying debris.
Elaine's blamed for at least 232 deaths.
We're in Buncombe County, North Carolina. They still have urban search and rescue teams looking for people, saying it can take a long time to complete their searches in areas with most devastation. Meanwhile, some areas are still cut off or don't have power or water.
Fox Weather's Brandy Campbell. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Several homes burning. It's 58 and sunny downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. A few fires at vacant homes throughout the city overnight.
We had one firefighter that had sustained a slight injury, and he was transported to Methodist Hospital and is expected to be okay, but, got a little banged up on this one.
IFD Battalion Chief Rita Wright. Another fire had a family of 5 forced from their home. They and their dog are all okay. 2 men are in the hospital after being shot at Cardinal Ritter High School over the weekend. Donnie Burgess reports.
It was a youth football game that had just wrapped up around 10 o'clock.
One team lost. They were upset. An argument broke out between the opposite sidelines, between the parents and some coaches.
Indy Metro Police Night Watch Captain Rob Ryder says it's ridiculous behavior and there's no excuse for it, especially around children.
Families and kids should be able to go to enjoy a Little League football game and not expect to get shot. So it's very sad. It is.
Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Child porn is why a man from Paoli is in the slammer this morning. David Robertson was arrested Friday after police searched his home on a warrant. Troopers say that they were acting on a tip from their Crimes Against Children task force. Archery deer season has already begun, but this season begins, this week, begins Indiana DNR's annual event allowing hunters to hunt at state parks in order to help control the state's deer population.
You let deer increase in too high of a density. That comes along with a lot of impact to other wildlife species to try to make sure that they all have a chance to make it out there.
Anthony Sipes with the DNR. The application process for those hunting days begins today. The Indiana Hoosiers are 6-0 after beating Northwestern Saturday. Head coach Kurt Signetti says it was a tough game.
Our offense kind of responded every time they needed to. Now, it wasn't our best game on defense, but I like the way we finished the game the last 2 series on defense.
Indiana heading into their bye week as the 18th ranked team in the AP Top 25. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
So what's in the bag today? Yesterday's leftovers? Another lunch meat sandwich? Well, go ahead and pull up a rock and settle in for a half hour of I wish I was eating something else. Or you could be eating something else, or someplace else. If you're brown bagging it at the corner of 30th and Shadeland area, drop over to His Place Eatery for 30 minutes of, why didn't I know about this place sooner? Nothing fancy, not a lot of frills. They save that for the quality of the meal. Like ribs that fall off the bone, southern fried chicken, sides that will cause your taste buds to thank you into tomorrow. Put that in your brown bag and eat it. Better yet, bank the bag. Go to His Place Eatery at the corner of 30th and Shadeland, or the newest location off 86th and Ditch Road. Your dirty boots and work clothes are welcome here. His Place, your place for lunch. Go to hisplaceeatery.com to learn more.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving Central Indiana.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
It is the Kendall and Casey Show. Happy Monday to you. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Our old pal, Indy Spanglish. Jerry Lopez in for Casey. Kev is here, and oh my gosh, let's stop the presence, Spanglish. Saturday Night Live turned on Kamala and Tim Walz.
The simulation is broken.
My favorite part about this is there are so many people on the left on social media who have no idea what to do with the fact that, I mean, they're being fair, right? I mean, it's Saturday Night Live is doing the thing to the left that they always do to the right.
Well, they wore it down with Baldwin and Trump. It just was exhausting. It ruined Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live used to be so funny, and then it turned into political Trump stuff every episode.
So they've got, like, Maya Rudolph doing in this skit Kamala Harris, and they make her out to be a complete drunk. I mean, so to set this thing up for you, we're going to play you something. By the way, they've got...
Well, if it doesn't work out, you can run for mayor of Indianapolis.
Stop. They've got Dana Carvey back as Joe Biden. He's not in this clip. He's great. Well, he was great as Bush. He was great as Perot. He's great as everything. He's just hilarious. And he is the mannerisms. He's got it down perfect. He's not in this clip, but later on in this little skit that they did, he makes an appearance. And so you got Maya Rudolph as Kamala Harris, and she's watching the debate with Walz and Vance. And they make her out to be this just like complete drunk who's just drinking a bottle of wine while she's watching the debate. Here's a little bit of the skit.
I don't know the answer, so I'm going to just say the word fundamental a bunch. Because debating is 30% fun and 70% demental. How am I doing?
Okay. He's out there. He's doing his thing, whatever that may be.
Okay, come on, just relax. You haven't had a night off in 3 months. Do you want to watch something less stressful like the Menendez Brothers show?
I don't know, Dougie. I kind of wish I had picked Josh right now.
Oh, Josh Shapiro?
No, Josh. Cabernet.
Look, Tim'll be fine. It's not like he's going to say something crazy.
I've become friends with school shooters.
She smashes the wine glass in her hand. Okay. And what the part about this is all stuff that they've been doing for years and years and years to the right, unmercifully. I mean, they go way beyond just trying to be funny. I mean, they're just mean about it. And now because they're doing it to somebody on the left, social media left is just losing their minds.
But they're always like that. They like to be, and Republicans, conservatives need to do a better job of being on the attack.
Yeah.
Right? We always play defense, right? And that's no fun.
One of the things that has become very obvious, we're about to play you this interview that Hillary Clinton did over the weekend, and it's so obvious, is how much, Spanglish, the left depends on absolute, complete domination from the three broadcast networks, from the media as a collective, because once the conversation isn't completely confined and controlled, they can't stand on their own. They can't stand on their own. And Hillary Clinton went on CNN, believe this was over the weekend, and she said the quiet part out loud that without content moderation and censorship on social media, the Democrats lose control.
There should be a lot of things done. We should be, in my view, repealing something called Section 230, which gave, platforms on the internet immunity because they were thought to be just pass-throughs, that they shouldn't be judged for the content that is posted. But we now know that that was an overly simple view, that if the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control.
So another Democrat trying to take one of Donald Trump's policies. Donald Trump fought against this during the Hunter Biden laptop thing and said, you are now if you're going to moderate what goes on your site, you're no longer just a publisher, you're an editor. And people fought against that. The Democrats didn't want that. Now that Elon Musk runs Twitter, now they're we need to moderate it. We need to moderate it.
And keep in mind, Section 230 was something her husband signed into law. Section 230, for those of you, I know most of you are probably familiar with this, but for those of you who aren't, was a law passed, I believe it was in 1996, in the early days of the internet, in which the government, and rightfully so, said we want to encourage free speech online, and we want to protect things like forum boards that are going to allow freedom of speech. And so what it did is it gave these protections to what we call them platforms now. Like you can be a publisher or you can be a platform. A publisher doesn't have to provide any sort of fairness. He doesn't have to provide any sort of, they can censor, whatever they want. They don't have protections because, hey, you're squashing, you're not allowing, that's fine. Like you run a website, you're a publisher, you don't, I don't know. I assume the New York Times, maybe they do now. They don't a lot of these websites don't have public comments.
Most
anymore.
of them are turned off completely now.
Right. And that's a publisher. Yeah. And what it said was if you're a platform, which became, it wasn't it was forum boards back then, but it became Facebook, Twitter, whatever, that we want you to encourage freedom of speech. So we're going to call you a platform, and you're going to have protections that if somebody says something crazy or libelous or whatever, you're not going to be held accountable for that because we're encouraging you to be the new public square. It was passed by the United States government.
It's how it should be. It's how it should be.
Her husband signed it into law, and what the problem was, though, it became, especially during COVID and the election 2020, the platforms became publishers where they were censoring things they didn't want. And the argument for people like Donald Trump was said, well, wait a second, Twitter or Facebook, if you're going to act like a publisher, then that's fine. You be a publisher, but you don't get the protection.
Now you're responsible.
Right, exactly. And the Democrats were all against that. Oh, no, they're doing great. They're doing wonderful. Until, you're right, Spanglish, until Elon Musk bought Twitter and they lost control. And now there's actual freedom of speech over there. And now Hillary Clinton totally wants to do away with Section 230 because it's not 100% working in their favor.
So Twitter, for those of you who don't do a lot of social media, Twitter has become, it's the new newspaper. It's Facebook is for your family stuff. Instagram's kind of for pictures of vacation. And X is really where you see the exchange of ideas. Yeah. You see different sides coming in. I mean, sure, it's the Wild West. There's a lot of trolling out there. So bring your Kevlar vest because people are going to come after you. Right? Keyboard warriors. But that's where the real information and real discourse is taking place today, is on Twitter.
Yeah, I have this conversation.
Should the internet be a utility, Rob?
Well, and I think that's the last thing you would want, right? Because look at what happens with utilities, right? They become bigger, they become more inefficient, and they become, more importantly, a lot more expensive.
Sure, but it is essentially today's telephone.
Well, and it's fine to have the conversation, but the reality is they're not having the conversation because they want the conversation. No. They're having the conversation because
they want to stop the conversation.
They stopped it. Yes, they stopped having a monopoly on these social media platforms. Yeah. If Elon Musk hadn't bought Twitter, they would not be saying this. And so it really comes back to, so like my social media, it's pretty hard to get banned. Now there are some people that I do have a limit like everybody else, and I will eventually do it, but it's really hard to get banned on my social media because you simply saying something mean about me, I just use it for the show content, and the idea that I take liberal hate and turn it into my livelihood and pay my mortgage with it, that's the best punishment I can give those people. And they never run out of Rob derangement syndrome, so they just keep giving me stuff. I had this conversation with somebody last night. For some reason, she couldn't post on something. I don't know what it was. And she's like, I don't know how she worded it, muting me or whatever. And I said, well, first of all, if I mute you, it doesn't mean you can't comment. It just means I don't see you.
Right.
But no. You're not nearly obnoxious enough for me to block you yet because I use you to help me earn a paycheck. But there's a lot, and so for me, you're right. Like it is the town square. It is the place where everybody can come, and if you don't like somebody being a part of your thing, you can block them. Now it's a pretty high standard for me. Some people it's lower. It's your page, it's your stuff. You block whoever you want for whatever reason you want. But don't give me this. Don't cry act where they're so mean to me on here, and we've got to step in, and somebody's got to stop this because it's just totally it's bull. It's bull, and they don't really mean it.
Yeah, no, it's sad. And not only is social media to the point now where you use yours, like now I want you to tailor yours to what I like. So exactly. Rob, I don't like what you posted. I don't like this. I don't like it's out of hand. It's ridiculous, and it 100%. Just needs to be wide open.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we've got a lot more from Tim Walz on that Fox News appearance. It was a complete train wreck. And comes back to what we talked about, kind of the theme of the show today, that if anybody pushes back on these people, they fold like an accordion. Spanglish in for Casey, Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
This could be one of the most consequential votes of our lifetime.
Who will be our next governor?
U.S. Senator.
Our next president. Who will represent us in the General Assembly?
You have a voice with your one vote.
Unhappy with the current state of affairs? You can do something about it.
Voting is one of our most important rights as Americans.
It's how you can stand up for your beliefs,
your values,
and for future generations.
A reminder to make your vote count on November 5th.
November 5th.
November 5th.
From WIBC
and Urban One.
Advent is now open in Indianapolis and Avon. Find out more at adventknows.com.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
guys, it's Rob from my friends and family at Life Church. Had an awesome time at Life Church yesterday. Great sermon, as always, by Pastor Micah Beckwith. And, man, over the years, many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church. Life Church is warm. They're welcoming. They'd love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family. At Life Church, you're so much more than just a number. You're an individual. So if you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home or just feeling called to something different, check out Life Church. Campuses all across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, plus awesome online services. Learn more about everything at lifechurchin.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here to elevate your protection game. Using the same simple password across all your accounts, that's risky. While updating your passwords to be more unique is a good start, true peace of mind comes with LifeLock. LifeLock doesn't just alert you to suspicious activity, but monitors for more uses of your personal info and will fix identity theft issues that arise, guaranteed, or your money back. Secure your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Hi, this is John Schmitz. Are you frustrated with slow or no response from your elected officials? Your U.S. Congressman is one of those politicians that takes your vote for granted. Let's send a message to all politicians. If you don't meet us out in the neighborhoods, we will vote you out. You deserve better. I'll be there for you. I'm committed to work to preserve your freedoms. A vote for Schmitz will ensure less government interference and more control over your own life. I'm ready to work tirelessly for you. Visit johnschmitzforcongress.com and see how your vote can make a real difference. I'm John Schmitz. I approve this message, paid for by Schmitz for Indiana.
There is still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. No subcontractors ever. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
So there was a huge event in college football over the weekend, and now you can own a piece of history to help pay off some bad choices. It's the Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Indy Spanglish, Jerry Lopez in for Casey. Kev's here. So Vanderbilt shocked the world, beat #1 Alabama on Saturday. I was over at Hammer's house, and we watched the end of that. And I was, I got to tell you, I did not have Vandy beating Alabama on my bingo card there, Spanglish.
Listen, not only did you not have them, but the money line was so ridiculous you couldn't take it. And the point spread was like almost 30.
Yeah, I mean, it was a massive, massive upset. You know, we laughed about Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame a few weeks ago. This was every bit of that and then some. And, of course, as happens in college football, when a #1 team goes down to an underdog, the fans it was at Vanderbilt, which is in Nashville, they storm the field, and then they
tore down the goalposts.
They start walking through downtown Nashville to throw the goalpost in the water.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so all these poor women who are having these bridal parties or, you know, bachelorette parties or whatever, the people are out having a good time on the streets of downtown Nashville, have there's just a mob of people. It's overtaken by this.
It sounds like a 50-minute walk.
Yeah, yes. I mean, this went on all night long. By the way, where are we with people storming the field and like stealing the goalposts?
I'm good with it.
Are you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of destruction of stuff that's not yours, right?
I mean, we'll get into it. They're going to make some money off of it, but nonetheless, yeah, I get if I'm paying you $200,000 to find out my pronouns, I'll tear down the damn goalpost if I want to.
See, I'm such a rule follower. To me, it's like, I can celebrate. I don't need to destroy property, but you say go for it. Just
something that big, yeah. You're young enough to say you're a dumb college kid.
So now there's some issues, right? Because goalposts are expensive.
Well, you get fined $100,000 for storming the field.
Oh yeah,
that's how they're trying to get away from that. Like if your crowd storms, we can't stop them.
Yeah,
but we're going to fine you $100,000.
Okay, so that's interesting to me because what is a university really supposed to do? We're talking about, you know, I don't know, maybe there were 50 or 60,000 people. I don't know how big Vanderbilt Stadium was, but they're all coming. It doesn't matter. If you had the National Guard there, you wouldn't be able to stop. So why are you fining the university or the program for something you can't? It's not like it's you're being lackadaisical. There's just no.
And is the university mad that they won a game that's stormable?
Yeah, I mean, I look at that and go, I don't know. I don't know. But that is the rule. You're right. So is it the university that's being fined?
University.
So in order to raise money, now they're selling off items from the football game?
Correct. So they put 5 items up for bid. Well, 5 different categories. You can buy an individual pylon from the game for $880. You can buy a 4.
So wait. So a pylon, for those you don't know, when you're you see the end zone, they've got these orange padded things that stick up that you can see whether you if you hit the pylon, that marks the corners of the end zone. That's a touchdown.
Yep. $880 for one of those.
Okay.
You can buy a 4-inch piece of the upright, so the part that goes up. A 4-inch piece of the field goal post. That's $1,005.
Okay.
You can buy a personalized game ball. Doesn't say how it's personalized. It's personalized game ball. $2,600.
Okay.
You can buy an 8-inch piece of the crossbar for $4,035, or a personalized game helmet for $7,090. Now, mind you, there probably isn't one kid on this Vanderbilt team that'll go pro.
Right. I mean, this is a monumental upset. It will definitely be. I think it's safe to say it'll be the biggest upset in college football this year. I think a lot of people thought Northern Illinois and Notre Dame. I think this is bigger because Alabama's better than Notre Dame, and Northern Illinois had some guys that could kind of play. And I just think this is probably the biggest upset in college football this year. And it's not like Vanderbilt has a long track record of immense.
Right. It's a baseball school.
It's the biggest thing. Yes, this is the biggest thing that will ever happen to Vanderbilt football. I mean, the only player I can think of.
They probably got paid to take this game. I bet Alabama said, "Look, we'll give." No, they're SEC.
No,
okay, they're SEC. Northern Illinois got paid $1.5 million to go in and beat Notre Dame.
You're right. Yeah, and they never play at the other team's place if you're getting paid to take a game. So, but who Jay Cutler played at Vanderbilt? Who else? Can you name me another guy that played at Vanderbilt? No, right. So it is. So if you're a Vanderbilt alumnus, this is one of the biggest things that'll ever happen sports-wise to your university, not related to baseball. So are you paying this? Are you
not a chance?
Out?
Not a chance.
No way.
Well, I mean, listen, if I have super bucks, sure.
Yeah.
But let's say I make $200,000, I don't think I'm gonna even. I mean, that's a good chunk of change. I'm not spending money on this
because this is a common thing, especially in college basketball. Like, hey, we're replacing the floor at Assembly Hall, and we're going to put off little chunks and sell.
Well, they did the seats in the Oakland Stadium.
Right. Or like the Final Four, it always seems like every year at the Final Four, we're because it rotates sites. Now we're selling off. If you're let's say Kansas wins the national championship and you're a Kansas fan, wouldn't you want a piece of the floor that Kansas? You see this all the time on college basketball. But yeah, like if you bought a piece of the crossbar. What do you display it and say it's? I mean, it's not.
It's just a piece of metal tubing.
And a game used helmet. Is it a game used helmet from the quarterback? I mean, that might be kind of cool. But is it a game used helmet from the third string safety? Right.
Yeah.
What does that do for me?
Nothing.
Yeah,
and it's going to cost you like $2,000.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, you're just bailing out the excessive lack of self-control from a bunch of college kids. That's what you're doing if you're buying this stuff.
That's it.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get into some more of this audio from Tim Walz on Fox News. That was a complete disaster. If we have time, we'll get to some more stuff with Trump. Jerry Lopez in for Casey. It's the Kendall Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough. TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies. Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services,
No,
even
but-
for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye.
No, but-
Adios. Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Yes, right now, save up to $250 on Cooper tires, and shocks and struts are buy 3, get 1 free.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hello, friends. Hello, listeners. It is Rob for Universal Windows Direct. And what an incredible deal going on right now with Universal Windows Direct. Call today, 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574. And for every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 free. Buy 2, get 2, buy 4, get 4, buy 20, get 20. There's no limit. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. Now, some restrictions apply, so to get all the information on this incredible deal, call today, 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574. Universal Windows Direct backs up their work with a true lifetime warranty for as long as you own the home and a 20-year warranty to the next home owner. See everything on the web, uwd.com, uwd.com, and call today, 317-659-7574, Universal Windows Direct. Tell them Rob sent you.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today, 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
Are you a translator for your spouse? Are you the one always on the telephone because your husband or wife struggle to hear? You need to check out RelayIndiana.com and CapTel, the captioned telephone. The CapTel phone allows the hard-of-hearing person to enjoy conversations through voice recognition technology, with the other person's words appearing on the easy-to-read screen. Go online to RelayIndiana.com for more information about CapTel and let your spouse enjoy their own phone calls. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Bracing for another. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Storm surge and hurricane watches have been issued in parts of Florida as Hurricane Milton continues to gain strength in the Gulf of Mexico. As of the latest update from the National Hurricane Center, the Category 3 storm is just about 700 miles from Tampa and is expected to move near the Yucatan Peninsula today. A full year later, the fighting continues between Israel and Hamas.
There were 2 separate rounds of rockets into southern and central Israel. The second of which happened here in Tel Aviv, where we heard the sirens and then we heard several explosions. And this is why Israel is still operating in Gaza. The IDF says there are thousands of terrorists still there. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is still under intense pressure a full year into this war.
Fox's Nate Foy. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Are you concerned about rising gasoline taxes? I'm Donald Rainwater, Libertarian candidate for governor. Hoosiers currently pay sales tax and excise tax on gasoline to the state. No one should pay 2 taxes for gasoline. So my plan is to abolish the gasoline excise tax in Indiana. To learn more about my plan to make Indiana government less taxing, go to rainwaterforindiana.com. My name is Donald Rainwater, and I approve this message. Paid for by Rainwater for Indiana.
Based on the last 17 years, we feel like American Standard is the best in the market.
That's Chris Wedekin, owner of Absolute Comfort, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
So Tim Walz was on Fox News. He got a real interview over the weekend, and it was a complete train wreck. It's Kendall and Casey Show, 93 WIBC. Indy Spanglish, Jerry Lopez in for Casey today. Kev did an outstanding job. I gave Kev so much audio to get through today, and he got through all of it. So sorry for making you do actual work today, Kevin. But you did a great job with it. Okay, so You know, we talked about this earlier, Spanglish. One of the amazing things to me about the left has kind of been a theme throughout the show today is they cannot deal with somebody pushing back against them. They totally live, not just live, but exist, period, thrive, whatever, off complete domination of the narrative and the conversation. And anytime, I mean, like we've seen this in both of these debates in which they're literally depending upon, quote unquote, fact checkers who are getting it wrong, by the way, as the moderator going into business for themselves to try to save them when they get in positions of trouble.
Yeah, and to your point, to go back to what you said about me kind of making a career this from social media, one of the things I realized very quickly is we can't get into the substance of any conversation with any liberal if you're white because you're panned as a racist immediately.
Yeah.
Or a bigot or anti-immigration. Like we don't have the conversation. So when I can say the same thing that Rob Kendall says, and you can't call me a racist, now we have to have the conversation, and then it falls apart.
You know, we laugh about this because our joke on the show is no one appreciates diversity like me. So one of my best friends, Abdul, is black. My wife is Hispanic, and I work with a woman, right? So it's but it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter. No matter what box you check, if you say something they don't like and you're white, and especially if you're white and a man, well, then you're the the phobe. It doesn't matter how I live my life or who I live my life around.
Yeah,
or what I do.
Never mind, they can't define what a woman is, right? You're a man. Well, how do they know you're a man, Rob?
Yes, exactly. All right, so Walls, one of the major things you've recognized over the past 4 years is that the Democrats are wholly invested in mass illegal immigration into this country, wholesale mass illegal immigration. And those that they can't get in illegally, they're finding ways to bring them in on whatever, temporary or protected or whatever. They want as many people coming into this country as they possibly can because the left, and if you go back to the days of the 1619 Project, which you don't hear a lot about anymore, but that was all the rage during the riots and the protests and everybody's racist. And you realize those people, the communists, the Marxists, the socialists, basically now the makeup of the Democrat Party, they don't believe America can be reformed. They want America burnt to the ground and rebuilt in a different image. And the easiest way to do that is bringing as many people not from this country into this country as quick as you possibly can.
No attachment to this country, no loyalty to this country, none of that. And what's crazy to me is how much more can the American people take?
Yeah.
Right? Because they're not just dropping them off in New York City.
Right.
We're talking about Springfield, Ohio.
Yep.
I couldn't point out where it's at on a map right now, but I know they don't have 20,000 Haitians there, but yet they do.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this many times, that a local school superintendent, definitely not conservative, not even Republican, and I had this conversation earlier this year where he told me, he said, look, you and I don't agree politically on a lot of things, but the reality is we are seeing these protected status people flooding into central Indiana. They're living 3 or 4 families to a house. These idiot, clueless town and city council people are approving all of these developments because they get enamored with, it's a $450,000 house, but they're too stupid or clueless or uninquisitive to realize the people who are buying those homes are living 3 or 4 families to a house. Yep. They're putting 10 kids into our public school system. They're using all of these services. If you, here is the best case and evidence I can give somebody is, if you have lived in a town for 10 years, go walk around your local Walmart. And I guarantee you, if it's in central Indiana, that trip around your local Walmart looks markedly different.
100%.
Than it did 10 years ago.
100%.
And it's almost every community, thriving community in central Indiana. It's happening everywhere. So it's not just happening in Springfield.
But so to me, my issue is like, so my mom and dad were a protected class. They were Cubans. But Cubans aren't coming here asking for communism, bro.
Right.
We're not asking for socialism. We just love the United States of America, man. All right? My mom is the biggest Republican I know.
Yeah.
Right? Now, she doesn't know anything about politics, but she knows communism is not the answer.
Yeah. So Walls got asked about this law he signed in Minnesota, which gave free driver's license, college, and health care to illegals. And he stands behind it 100%.
Wall Street Journal says this after you were chosen to join the ticket. As the Democratic governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz signed into law initiatives allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's licenses, qualify for free tuition at state universities, and enroll in the state's free health care program for low-income residents. Are those not magnets to draw people here, many times on dangerous journeys for themselves? And why should your taxpayers in Minnesota or across the states pay for those programs?
Well, that's not the vice president's position, but I will say this. Minnesota ranks as a top 5 business state. We rank as a top 3 state for children living, and we're the top state for health care access. I would also add this. We also have some of the safest roads.
So that business thing has been totally debunked. And newsflash, Tim Walz is lying. But he tells you. He's not sorry about it. He doesn't dispute it happened. He's not like going, oh, you're way off on that's what happened. He's admitting. We are giving all the free stuff. We're taking money from you, and we are giving it to people who are in this country illegally.
Yeah, because you don't need it.
Right? I mean, it's unbelievable. He is so wed to it. He does as big a liar as he is. He doesn't even try to lie. He also said, now keep in mind, there have been 15 million people at least enter this country illegally under Joe Biden.
But what do you do with them, Rob? Like, okay, let's real quick. If the plan is to give these people amnesty, the only way you can accomplish this is if you flood it with so many people you can't deport them all.
That's right. You know, Trump said this in the first debate one of the first debates in 2015, because they always try to have a gotcha question with these Republicans, like, you're not for mass deportation, are you? And by the way, polling shows the public is for mass deportation.
And I'm a child of immigrants. I support mass deportation.
But they're spitting in the face of your parents who came to the country legally.
100%.
And so Trump said this in one of the first debates. He said, either you have a country or you don't.
Yes.
And if you have a country, then you have to have borders, and borders have to matter, and the laws related to borders have to matter, and they got to go back. Yeah. And everybody was just like, oh, I can't believe he would, because that's the way it should be.
Look at the countries around the world that complain our borders, and then look at their borders.
Yes.
Mexico does not allow illegal.
It doesn't make you anti-immigrant. I definitely want a big wall with a wide gate. I want as many people who want to come into this country like your parents and assimilate and value our culture and value our norms and uphold our traditions.
And re-interject the American dream into what's missing in society today.
You're right. So here is Tim Walz saying Kamala's done a great job at the border, then kind of admits the border's bad, and he blames Trump.
The vice president has made it clear that she has policies that make a difference. Her border policies are the most strongest, the fairest we've seen.
But now, Governor, you know a lot of people, including your own party, would not join that statement. There are millions of people who have come here over the last few years that, they see this as an open border.
Well, simply, we have a policy. Donald Trump sees it as a political. Look, James Langford in Oklahoma, the Border Patrol agents, the Wall Street Journal, the Chamber of Commerce, all said pass this legislation. You have to have Congress to authorize 1,500 new border agents. You have to have Congress to authorize DOJ to speed adjudications on these asylum claims. Those are things that would actually work. Donald Trump told us for 4 years he would deal with this. He didn't. He didn't build his wall, 2%. Mexico didn't pay for it. This is a real bill that has bipartisan support. It has the experts on board, and it starts to tackle these issues. And we don't have to resort to demonizing people. We don't have to resort to making up or crafting stories, as Senator Vance said he did. Those things were not happening in Springfield, but it doesn't mean that we can't pass a piece of legislation to strengthen our border. That's what Kamala Harris is talking about.
Well,
She's talking
Governor,
about solving the problem.
That piece of legislation does include the wall that you guys have been so, you've disparaged that. I mean, the Vice President has as well, so I don't know if she really intends to move forward with that. But it was negotiated by 3 or 4 senators, and many Republicans came out against it long before President Trump indicated he didn't like it either.
It includes mass amnesty. That's why they're against it. He wants to act like, oh, there's all these protections and this and that, this and that. It includes mass legalization of people who cheated their way into this country, and he conveniently doesn't ever want to say that, because that was the heart of the bill. And we always get the amnesty Spanglish. We always get the legalization of people who cheated their way into the country, and then we never get the actual border security.
You notice the border security was never an issue for the left until Governor Abbott started shipping people up to New York City. And all of a sudden, it became a huge issue.
All right, when we come back, John Schmitz is going to join us. He's running for Congress, Republican running for Congress in Marion County against the Andre Carson machine, the gerrymandered district, and the Andre Carson machine. Can he pull off the upset? We'll ask him. Coming up next, Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
The victims of Hurricane Helene need our help. Go to salarmy.us.
US/Indiana EDS. That's SALArmy.us/Indiana EDS. From the Salvation Army and WIBC.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
It's Terry Stacy, a customer of Premier Deck Coating, and they've changed our life when it comes to saving us time and money, preparing and protecting our deck year after year. Premier Deck Coating is the ultimate deck protection, sister company of Rhino Shield, locally owned. Right now, we've got black walnuts that fall from the trees that normally used to stain the deck, but no more now that we have Premier Deck Coating. It has completely transformed our deck with their special formulated product, and it's backed by a 10-year warranty. They came in, they sanded all the walking surfaces, they repaired the damaged boards, and then they applied their Protect Deck and Railing coating, and that repels mold and moisture, and it resists scratches, and it keeps our deck looking great for years to come. They can also do fences and pergolas, too. And listen to this. Right now, they're able to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans and no payments until next year to qualified customers. Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. We love what they were able to do for us. For a free quote, visit premierdeckcoating.com.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Great news! Indy Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers. Call 888-RHINO-41 for details.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go.
Would you like fries with that?
Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
You know, gerrymandering is a double-edged sword, my friend. See what I did there?
I did.
Thank you. Thank you. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish, in for Casey today. And, you know, look, every state does this, right? The state legislatures draw these congressional maps. They draw the state house maps. They draw the state senate maps. Whatever party's in power draws them in their favor. Hear this all the time about the Republicans in Indiana. Well, they can't lose because they've drawn the maps in their favor. Well, the Democrats did it, 2 decades ago before the Republicans were in charge. And one of the double-edged swords with this is, yeah, okay, there's a whole bunch of districts you can't lose. But then on the other hand, in order to do it right, there's going to be some that are really hard to win. And Indianapolis, when it comes to our congressional race, Andre Carson, really hard to win.
Well, that's going to be a tough race no matter what, right? And it's I can't wait to speak to the person that's running against him that hopes to actually help the constituents of that district.
Yes, John Schmitz is his name. He joins us now on the WIBC hotline. All right, Schmitz. So it's like a 70% or 60% or some overwhelming number Democrat district, Marion County, the 7th Congressional District. How do you, as a Republican, tell people, you Democrats are doing it all wrong?
Well, just look at Indianapolis, and that's the first thing you bring up about how Democrats have pretty much ruined our city. But, I say this is the forgotten race against the invisible man. Andre Carson is absent from our community. I did a fundraiser with Greg Pence, and I asked him, tell me a story about Andre Carson out in Washington, D.C., and he paused, and he says, well, heck, I never see him. So I think our voters need to wonder, where the heck is this guy?
Well, that's a great point, John. John Schmitz is our guest. He's running for Congress, Republican, here in the 7th Congressional District. Is that an argument to people? Like, when you go out and talk to people, is the argument, what has this guy done for you?
Yes, it is. And, when I go, if anybody that pays attention, I go where Republicans don't go. And, honestly, a lot of white folks, they laugh at me when they say, oh, you can't win, but he's got to go. But other people say, where's your information? And I do hear that. I think people have had enough of no-show politicians. And if you're not out in the community, living with the people, how are you going to know what the people want?
Well, and I think that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed about him is he's almost made himself into like a congressional celebrity, right? He's mucking it up with AOC and the Hamas caucus and Rashida Tlaib and hanging out with all those people, and really has completely forgot about the people that he actually represents back at home. If you look at some of the things that his district deals with, it's some of the hardest hit issues in all of Indianapolis, yet he's out there mucking it up because he has that Carson last name. When you talk about what he's done himself, I mean, it's probably pretty hard to come up with too many achievements.
Yeah, and he's come up with, he voted not to condemn the Hamas attack on October 7th, which the anniversary is coming up very soon. 1 of 10 and the other 290 reps voted to condemn terrorism. And this guy didn't. And he has constantly voted against Israel, the Iron Dome. So, just his voting record speaks for itself. And I don't know how he gets a free pass. It seems like the media doesn't cover him. Like I said, he's the invisible man. And you hit it right on the head, Jerry. He thinks he's a celebrity. He takes people's votes for granted. And he just thinks everybody's going to go out and vote for him.
John Schmitz is our guest. He's running in the 7th Congressional District, Congress, Republican, Marion County against Andre Carson. So, John, you took kind of an unorthodox way to become the nominee for Congress. Of course, this was the infamous primary that had our old pal, dishonest Gabe Whitley, in it. Of course, Gabe, he's got a whole bevy of issues. He's since been arrested, and
his record speaks for itself as well.
Well, right. So, but I'm saying he was in this primary. Of course, he has this huge issue hanging over his head of all these donors who don't exist, and who knows what's going to ultimately come of that. Of course, the feds all raiding his home. What has that been? That's been a couple months ago now. But as a result of that, this woman who was no longer with us, she was deceased, ends up winning the primary. She obviously can't run because she's not living, and then the Marion County GOP says, hey, Schmitz, you're up.
Hey, John, just a quick question. How is the Marion County GOP handling your race? When they look at your race and they go, look, Carson's been there forever, it may be a tough one for what kind of support are you getting from the party itself?
Pretty much lip service. There's no money being shared. It's just not there. That's not there. We're on our own. And, a victory, if I was to win this would send a couple messages. First message it would send to other politicians. If you don't get out and work in your community, they're going to vote you out. The second message is going to be to both parties, especially the GOP party. Hey, you need to support people. And if you don't support them, then we have no chance of winning. And that's where we're at on this. But we have a tremendous grassroots effort going. I'm planting signs daily, and people are starting to donate to this because they believe there's a chance we can win.
Yeah, so that's interesting, John. I was in a neighborhood in Indianapolis the other day, and I saw a whole bunch of your signs out. So I do think from your perspective, you're doing everything you can. But people ask the question, like, look at what happened in 2019 with the mayor's race. They left Jim Merritt for dead against Hogshead. Look at what that got us in 2020 with Hogshead. Then, obviously, it's Cindy Carrasco, who's a pretty good candidate, gets basically no help. It turned out to be of any meaning from the county party. She gets smoked against Ryan Mears. Same thing happens with Jefferson Shreve. Now, he was a horrible candidate. But then people look at this congressional race and go, okay, all of those things have happened. You got almost no Republicans on the Indianapolis City County Council, no Republicans elected to county-wide offices. Then you've got this disaster of a primary where it comes down to Gabe Whitley, who could be looking potentially at prison time, and a deceased woman, and people are going, what? This whole party's a mess, man. How could this capital city's Republican Party, and now they're not even helping you, according to you, how could they be this big of a joke?
Well, I'll tell you, Rob, I took this on because, I helped Jen Pace when she ran in 22. I did some ads for her. Her family didn't have a place to do a memorial service. We did it here at our art center, and I felt the urge to take pick up the torch for her. But I go out and talk to people, Republicans in Marion County. We had 10 county council seats that had no Republican in it. You got a lackluster effort at any of the races for the Marion County. And I said, well, it's time. If we're gonna build this party up, and when I say build this party up in Marion County, it's going to have to look like Marion County, not a lot of old white dudes like me. It's going to have to look like Marion County, and I'm going to get people, and I am getting people involved in politics that haven't been involved in politics. And we have got to take this city back from this death spin we got going with the Democrat Party. I mean, look at Hogsett's administration right now. It is a mess. He is asleep at the switch, and these departments run themselves, and they're running us in the ground. Indianapolis could be awesome if we had the best leadership available.
John, if people want to know more, John Smith's Republican candidate for Congress here in Marion County. If people want to know more about you, what you're doing, get involved, how can they do that?
Well, it's johnschmitzforcongress.com is our website. I put out a weekly blueprint, America's blueprint of what I do and what my positions on things. You can get a yard sign. You can donate money. You can volunteer for our campaign, but we are getting some serious momentum. It looks like, Andre Carson's agreed to have a debate with me.
Hey, when did that happen?
Well, your buddy Abdul sent me a message this morning about doing something on the 21st, Facebook Live. But if anybody was around last Thursday at 4:30 when Andre Carson decided he was going to have a virtual town hall meeting on Facebook, whoops, he couldn't get on.
Well, hopefully you'll get on. John Schmitz, candidate for Congress. Thanks for being with us, man, and good luck out there.
I appreciate it. See ya, English.
Yep, that's gonna do it for us today. Jerry, great job, man. Thank you as always.
Appreciate it.
And Kevin, good job as well. And most importantly, thank you to you, the listener. Without you, there is no us. Stick around. Tony Katz coming up next. Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Okay, close your mouth and take a deep breath in through your nose. So the way it's supposed to be is that you should be able to breathe easily. You shouldn't feel constrained. What it should feel like is air briskly flowing freely through both nasal passages, day and night. And if not, there's a problem. And it's a don't know what your problem really was until you got it fixed kind of problem. You're living with it. I mean, you're tired a lot. It might give you headaches and sinus pressure, but you're living with it. Yeah, you sound like almost every patient we help until we get their problem fixed. And then you hear them saying, why would I put up with that? Advent will get you breathing freely again with simple in-office solutions like turbinate reduction along with balloon sinuplasty that really can change your life.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Jennifer McCormick backed Hillary Clinton for president. And when McCormick was in charge of education in Indiana, our schools ranked at the bottom. She even opposed school choice. Then McCormick backed Joe Biden for president and supported his trillion-dollar spending scheme that caused all the inflation. Now she runs for governor on a plan that would increase your energy bills, create a new office of environmental justice, and ban gas stoves. Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal.
This is Mike Braun. Here's my plan for Indiana. I'll enforce immigration laws even when the federal government fails to act, keeping our streets safe and secure. And my plan lowers more costs. I'll cut property taxes, reduce energy bills, and expand parental choice and school voucher programs. Indiana needs strong leadership. We can get it done.
Mike Braun, governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Shh. The silence you just heard? You could have used that space to reach your customers. Get your message in front of your customers. Text BUSINESS to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
There is still time to get a patio this season. Get on the books now for a patio this fall. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, changing the way Indy thinks about concrete.
When was the last time you practiced your home fire escape plan? Be sure everyone in your family knows what to do if there's a fire. Get out, stay out. It's your fire safe response.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up, we have made